Ahead of 2024 battle, mega BJP rejig across multiple states, G. Kishan Reddy takes charge of Telangana. Bandi Sanjay ousted. Ex-Congress stalwart Sunil Jhakar to head Punjab BJP unit. Finance portfolio becomes sticking point for Mahayuti. Pawar's NCP faction demands lucrative finance and planning. Shinde camp objects. BJP heavyweight B.S. Yadurappa drops a bombshell, says BJP and H.D. Kumaraswamy's JDS will come together to fight the Congress.
Whatever Kumaraswamy is telling is the truth, and I am going to support Kumaraswamy's statement. And Kumaraswamy and we together will fight in future.
Uttarakhand Chief Minister Dhami meets Prime Minister Modi, says UCC will be implemented soon, but no decision will be made in haste. Prime Minister Modi hosts the virtual SCO summit with Putin, Xi and Pakistan Prime Minister Sharif all in one frame. Talks tough on terror and hits out at countries sponsoring cross-border terrorism.
कुछ देश क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म को अपनी नीतियों के इंस्ट्रूमेंट के रूप में इस्तेमाल करते हैं, आतंकवादियों को पनाह देते हैं। एससीओ को ऐसे देशों की आलोचना में कोई संकोच नहीं करना चाहिए।
Khalistani attack on Indian consulate in San Francisco set it on fire. Second cowardly attack on Indian consulate in the last 4 months. US strongly condemns. All right, the latest news break just coming in, and that was expected because now there seems to be a tussle for what cabinet berth for whom, with the newly inducted 8 cabinet ministers plus Deputy CM as Ajit Pawar. Berth pangs for Mahayuti. Shinde versus Ajit Pawar over finance berth. Sources suggest Pawar faction insisting on getting the finance portfolio. Sources also tell us that Eknath Shinde, the chief minister, has opposed the finance cabinet berth for the NCP. Understandable itself where Eknath Shinde of the Shiv Sena is concerned. He has a lot of leaders who had come with him to the new fold, breaking up the original Shiv Sena on the promise of being accommodated and given plum postings when it came down to the Maharashtra cabinet. They're still waiting to be appointed, and 8 other ministers have been appointed from the NCP with a new alliance. Understandably, Eknath Shinde right now under immense pressure, and the bone of contention in the newly minted cabinet would be who gets the finance portfolio. You have Mr. Ajit Pawar, who has dug in his heels, saying that the finance portfolio needs to come to no one else but the NCP leaders. Where does the finance portfolio lie right now? Interestingly, it's with Mr. Fadnavis. Will that also be a spoke in the wheel? Understandably, of course it will. Because now you have the NCP, Ajit Pawar faction, who wants the finance ministry where Maharashtra cabinet is concerned. You have Eknath Shinde, who wants it for Shiv Sena. Who already has it? Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, Deputy Chief Minister from the BJP, holds the finance portfolio. Very interesting developments if you put them all together coming in. Well, that's the latest news break that we're getting in. We're going to cut across to Sahil for more on this. But let's quickly shift to the other news break, and that has Mr. Sharad Pawar speaking exclusively to India Today. News coming in. Sharad Pawar Sr. lashing out at nephew Ajit Pawar. He spoke exclusively with India Today, suggesting that very clear, saying that the new party that his rebel nephew is forming is not the NCP, it's the new party. He is the real Saheb of the NCP. He's also sent out a very clear warning, saying do not use my picture or my name for your party. If you see that picture on your television screen, viewers, you have Ajit Pawar standing in front of a picture of Mr. Sharad Pawar. Very clear, Sharad Pawar saying, do not use my legacy, it's not yours. And the party, NCP, lies with him, and what his nephew is doing is forming a new party. Meanwhile, on the other hand, very clear, you have Ajit Pawar, nephew of Sharad Pawar, defiant, seen in front of a picture of Mr. Sharad Pawar signing documents, all of that. A huge tussle, but the real question is who has the numbers. All of that will be settled tomorrow on the 5th of July, where both factions, be it the NCP Sharad Pawar faction or the NCP Ajit Pawar faction, both of them have called for meetings. This is Sharad Pawar. He spoke exclusively to India Today a short while ago. Very clear, very angry. If that press conference of Sharad Pawar earlier after the split of his party NCP seemed where he was smiling, not very harsh on Ajit Pawar. Strong words for Praful Patel, but not for Ajit Pawar, at least when the press conference was concerned. On the telephonic conversation that he had on record with India Today's Mumbai Bureau Chief Sahil Joshi, he made it very clear, tearing into his nephew, saying his nephew is forming a new party, it's not the NCP, and warning him to not use his legacy, not his face, nor his name, when it comes down to pushing for a new political outfit, which Ajit Pawar claims is the real NCP, because Ajit Pawar claims he has the numbers. Meanwhile, dramatic developments taking place. Days after Ajit Pawar took oath as the new Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, inaugurated a new NCP office in Mumbai. While Ajit claims he had the required numbers to avoid the anti-defection law, Pawar faction has rejected his claim. This is how the day panned out.
The stage is set for a show of strength by Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar. The two factions of the NCP have called separate meetings of MLAs in Mumbai on Wednesday. The Ajit Pawar faction claims the support of over 40 MLAs, which is more than the 36 needed to escape the anti-defection law. But the Sharad Pawar camp rejects the claim.
40च्या वर चांगला नंबर आहे. मी बोलते, मैं एक काम करेल, आज गेल्यावर व्यवस्थित बोलतो.
जो एक साल से महाराष्ट्र में चल रहा है, तो जिन लोगों ने मतदान किया है उनको भी ये चीज अच्छी नहीं लगी, और जब ये चीज अच्छी नहीं लगती तब वो कहते हैं कि उनका जो मतदान है वो शायद वेस्ट हो गया. और इस सिचुएशन में लड़ना भी इसी भूमि ने, इसी विचार ने हमको सिखाया है. तो कितना भी मतदारों को लगा, मैं उनको उतना ही कहूंगा कि लड़ना तो हमको है.
Even as the number crunching is still on, Ajit Pawar has got down to business, inaugurating a new NCP office near the Mantralaya, the administrative headquarters of the Maharashtra government. The inauguration, however, did not go as smoothly as imagined. The NCP workers had to break the lock and enter the office as the PWD did not give the keys on time. Shortly after the inauguration of the new NCP office, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis held a meeting with Ajit Pawar and other newly inducted NCP ministers. Sources say the leaders discussed portfolio allocation. According to sources, the Ajit camp is likely to get the finance, planning and cooperative ministries. They have reportedly also asked for power, irrigation or higher and technical education departments.
कोई चिंता की बात नहीं है, और पोर्टफोलियो अलॉट नहीं हुआ करके कोई काम रुकेगा नहीं. कुछ पोर्टफोलियो मुख्यमंत्री जी के पास है, कुछ बाकी मंत्रियों के पास है, कोई डीसीएम साहब के पास है. पोर्टफोलियो चर्चा के बाद, संवाद के बाद वितरित होंगे.
अजीत पवार फाइनेंस और प्लानिंग मांग रहे हैं, लेकिन शिंदे खेमे से जो मंत्री है वो उसका विरोध कर रहे हैं, ऐसी खबरें आ रही है.
इस पार्टी में कोई कुछ मांगता नहीं. अब आग लगाने वालों से आग बुझाने वालों की संख्या सरकार में बहुत बड़ी है.
Portfolio allocation is a hot potato, as Chief Minister Shinde's Shiv Sena is wary of handing over key ministries to the NCP, who has been their political rivals for decades. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, with the latest news break, cutting across to Sahil Joshi, our Mumbai Bureau Chief. Sahil, pulling you in, very interesting with what's really going on in Maharashtra, and understandably so, because you have at one end Ajit Pawar faction wanting the finance ministry, you have Eknath Shinde wanting the finance ministry, Devendra Fadnavis who holds the finance ministry.
Well, the finance ministry becomes very key because if you remember, Preeti, at the same time last year when we had a discussion on your show, you remember Shinde camp MLAs had made a claim for their revolt. I mean, why did they do this particular revolt? Is basically they had claimed that it was Ajit Pawar, being a finance minister, was being partial towards the NCP MLAs, and that's what had got the Shiv Sena MLAs and the Shiv Sena party's future in the danger, because despite being the part of the government, they were not getting the required funds from the finance ministry the way they were expecting. And Ajit Pawar was being biased about it. He was helping the NCP MLAs and trying to build the party, against the Shiv Sena's interest. And now, if Ajit Pawar is, putting a claim on the finance ministry again, that has become the bone of contention, and the Shiv Sena MLAs are saying that this may create a problem, and they express their feelings to Eknath Shinde. And after that, the portfolio distribution, which was supposed to happen immediately after the first cabinet meeting of this three-party government, has been postponed now. Shinde and Fadnavis right now in Nagpur, and they are discussing the nitty-gritties of it. The NCP has made claim on certain ministries, specifically the finance and planning. The second important ministry is the cooperative ministry. The cooperative sector is the cooperation sector is one of the big sectors in which NCP leaders have hold, and Ajit Pawar would like to retain that particular ministry with him to keep his flock together, because right now he has to do this bitter battle with his uncle Sharad Pawar, and that's why he needs that particular ministry. He also has demanded irrigation, because that is the ministry under which the BJP had claimed that there was a big scam in Maharashtra when Ajit Pawar was holding this particular portfolio, and during the Congress NCP government's time, they had made a claim that 70,000 crore scam had happened in the irrigation, 70,000 crore worth rupees irrigation scam. So that irrigation ministry is also very important for Ajit Pawar, which he has put a demand of. The power ministry has also been demanded by the NCP. So these are the key portfolios which the NCP is demanding at this point of time. And some of the ministries, most of the ministries are at this point of time with the BJP, and they will have to get rid of some. But Shiv Sena has its own say about it. I mean, they don't mind if BJP keeps the finance ministry, but they don't want Ajit Pawar or the NCP to hold that particular ministry. So that is going to be the key, and that is what exactly is the problem happening at this point of time.
All right, Sahil, we're going to come back to you. Dramatic developments taking place where ministries are concerned. Of course, the numbers will be cleared tomorrow. Moreover, you have Sharad Pawar, who spoke to Sahil a short while ago, not smiling as much, very angry, tearing into his nephew, saying, do not use my legacy, not my picture, not my name. All of that, we're going to keep breaking it down, but cutting across to Newsbreak that is coming in right now from the state of Madhya Pradesh. All right, the latest news break coming in. There seems to have been another urination horror, this time coming in from Madhya Pradesh. Massive uproar over a man urinating on a labourer in Madhya Pradesh. Alleged BJP youth wing member seen urinating on another man, despicable at that. The Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has stepped in, vowing to impose the NSA Act against the accused. The accused in question is a BJP youth wing member. I want to cut across immediately right now to my colleague Hemendra, who's going to take us through this nauseating news break that is coming in. Hemendra, it's nauseating to see these visuals. This man is a BJP youth wing worker. The onus also lies on the Chief Minister, which he seems to be taking seriously and going to invoke the strictest NSA Act against this despicable man.
Well, Preeti, the man who is seen in this video who's urinating has been identified as Pravesh Shukla. he's allegedly a member of the Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha and also the local representative of the local BJP MLA Kedar Shukla. And the person on whom he is urinating on has been identified as one tribal, Pale Kol. He's a resident of a village which is about 20 kilometers from Sidi. And the Chief Minister has, through a tweet, said that he's going to take action against this man Shukla only after the Congress party raised this issue and made a hue and cry out of it. The entire leadership of the Congress party came out in the open saying that this is the way they are treating tribals. The police initially said that they haven't received any complaint from Pale Kol, but once this pressure mounted, the police went to Pale Kol's house. He is terrified. He has been brought to the police station, Behri police station, where this police FIR has been registered. He's still terrified. He's not able to tell what exactly happened, how it all happened. But this ban has been booked, and the Chief Minister has said that NSA proceedings would be initiated against him. And the former Chief Minister of the state, Mr. Kamal Nath, he has said that strong action should be taken against him. And the fact that this has been done against a tribal is deplorable.
These are shocking visuals that are coming in. The man in question goes by the name of Pravesh Shukla. He's accused of urinating on a Dalit man. It's really not about an identity or Dalit or the fact that he's a laborer. If this man can do what he did, he's a BJP youth wing leader is what we have been given to understand. Strong action expected right now from the Chief Minister. At least the Chief Minister has immediately reacted and said that he's going to go ahead and slap Pravesh Shukla, the man on the television screen, with the NSA Act. I want to once again bring in Hemendra. Hemendra, where exactly is this despicable man, Pravesh Shukla?
I think Pravesh Shukla is also somewhere in Sidi only. I tried getting in touch with him. He didn't take my telephone call. In fact, he's not taking anyone's call. I spoke to Kedar Shukla. Kedar Shukla initially feigned ignorance. Then, realizing the severity of the seriousness of the matter, he said that he has nothing to do with him. But there are pictures, there are hoardings, everything that have come out. He has been photographed with Kedar Shukla, and this is not the first time that he has tortured tribals over there. There have been several complaints against him in the past as well. He's known for his hooliganism, but because he's from the ruling party, no action had been initiated against him in the past. But this time around, as you said, this is so shocking. As pressure mounted on the Chief Minister has announced that proceedings would be initiated against him. But it would be really interesting to know whether a bulldozer, because Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan often says that anyone who commits crimes against the downtrodden in Madhya Pradesh, against women and children, their houses would be bulldozed. It would be interesting to see whether the bulldozer of Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan would go to the house of Pravesh Shukla, because he is allegedly a Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha member. If you go to Truecaller, his name is registered as BJYM Pravesh Shukla, but the BJP at the moment is saying they have nothing to do with him. The BJYM is also saying they have nothing to do with him, but his pictures and photographs with Kedar Shukla calling himself as his representative, they are out in the open.
All right, stay with me. I'm going to quickly cut across political reactions coming in. I have Tarun Shukla from the local Congress unit of Madhya Pradesh. Mr. Shukla, Tarun Bhanot is who we have right now on the phone line, local Congress unit, Madhya Pradesh. Mr. Bhanot, understandably, the Congress is going to go to town with this. Instead of politicizing it, what else is the Congress going to do?
No, really, this is not a political issue for us. But it's a political issue for the BJP. Now they are denying that chap who did this is not their member. And that same thing has happened just 10 days prior in my constituency itself, where a Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha, who was a Mahamantri here with them, General Secretary, he shot dead a girl in his office. There were no bulldozers to be seen anywhere. And when anything such happens, BJP always goes on a denial mode. Whatever good happens, they want to take credit of it. Whatever bad happens, whatever goons of BJP are doing here in Madhya Pradesh, they always deny that he's not a member. When it is on the social media, it's proven that he is a Bharatiya Janata Party Yuva Morcha General Secretary. He is also representative of the local MLA there. I'm also a member of Assembly from Jabalpur. But this is something which BJP has got a bad habit of doing. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, says about something, and it's all opposite is happening here in Madhya Pradesh.
Joining me
18 and a
is
half
Ms.
long
Shobha Oza as well from the Congress. Ms. Oza, the fact is the Chief Minister has stepped in. He's saying the strongest action will be taken against this despicable man. He's even attempting to slap the NSA against him.
This is not the first incident. You would have a number of such incidents in Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh has become a hub of goons, and people from the ruling party, the BJP, who are associated with them, for them no law exists in Madhya Pradesh because we have a jungle raj in Madhya Pradesh, because these people know very well they can do anything and get away with it without a scratch on them. And as far as the Chief Minister's tweet is concerned, action should have been taken by now. We will take this action, we'll take that action, but nothing happens. Tomorrow this man will walk scot-free without any punishment. That's for sure what we know in Madhya Pradesh. And in Madhya Pradesh, there's no fear of law. This clearly shows that what type of a treatment BJP office bearers deal with poor people, of people from the OBC backward SC, ST class. This is what we see off and on in Madhya Pradesh, and nothing happens. Like, they go scot-free doing all these nasty things. This is horrifying and this is shameful. And if the CM was serious about it, by this time the action should have been taken on this behavior, bad behavior of this.
All right, Ms. Oza, appreciate you joining us. We're going to leave our viewers with these visuals, despicable, but trust us to keep following the story. Hemendra, my colleague on ground, tracking the developments there. What will come of this man on your television screen? We are going to stay with this story. He has urinated on a labourer who's a Dalit. Absolutely no respect. The Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh says that he's going to slap the NSA against him. This man seems to be, at least right now, a BJP youth wing leader. With that, a quick break. To stay with us. On the other side is To The Point.
सीक्वेंस किस तरीके से था, क्योंकि अजित पवार ने बताया कि शुक्रवार को उन्होंने इस्तीफा दिया था आपके पास में नेता विपक्ष के तौर पर, और उसी वक्त आपके पास में विधायकों की हस्ताक्षर का एक खत आपको दिया गया था, जिसमें यह रिप्रेजेंटेशन दिया गया था कि जयंत पाटिल को हटाकर अजित पवार उनकी जगह पे एनसीपी के लेजिस्लेटिव पार्टी के नेता रहेंगे। दूसरी तरफ दूसरे धड़े की तरफ से भी आपके पास खत आया हुआ है कि उन्होंने व्हिप हटाया हुआ है। किस तरीके से यह कम्युनिकेशन आपके पास है? आज की स्थिति में क्या स्थिति है उसकी?
देखिए, जहां तक आज की राजकीय परिस्थिति है, उस विधिमंडल में जो विधिमंडल गठ है, उस गठ में से किसी भी गुट ने मेरे पास ऐसा निवेदन नहीं दिया है कि पार्टी में किसी प्रकार की फूट पड़ी है, और इसीलिए आज मेरे सामने राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी लेजिस्लेटिव पार्टी जो है, वो अभी तक एक गुट के तरीके से मैं उसको देख रहा हूं, और केवल लीडरशिप के बारे में डिफरेंस है, ऐसा चित्र मेरे सामने आज रखा गया है। तो यदि पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के लीडरशिप के बारे में विवाद है, तो हमें निर्णय लेते समय हम किस रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को अधिकृत पार्टी का रिप्रेजेंटेटिव मानते हैं, वो हमें तय करना है, और वो तय करने के बाद हम इस निष्कर्ष पे आ सकेंगे कि उस पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का एक्सपेक्टेशन क्या है, डिजायर क्या है, कौन व्हिप बनना चाहिए, कौन गठनेता बनना चाहिए, और उसे रिकग्निशन दिया जाएगा।
this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mode.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is a dystopic reality, and it is by any yardstick a growing epidemic. We are all hooked. Admit it, deny it, and this means serious trouble. We are slaves to our gadgets. The addiction has not even spared the young ones.
During this pandemic, there was a shift in the routine life of everyone, and even for my child, when the online classes started, in this 2 years, the first year he was fine, but as and when the screen time got increased, so he started shifting the screens during the classes to see some gaming videos during the classes. I could see that like his craving for that, like asking for mobile, it became more. He used to become arrogant, sometimes aggressive, and later it started being physical. Maybe like screaming, it may be screaming or hitting the walls, something like that, behavioral changes.
Is this how people around you behave all the time? Their heads down into their phones, the relationship with the gadget not broken even during meal times.
Well, does this happen to you often? Lost in the real world, only present in the virtual? Are you one of those people who can't do without your phones? You have a relationship only with your gadgets and your screens and not with your friends and family members.
Therapy and de-addiction to recover from technology addiction is fast catching up in India, given the situation we found ourselves in. But what exactly is addiction to gadgets?
A lot of this watching screen all the single time is just illuminating our brains quite a lot. You've seen a Christmas tree all lit up. Our brain has a lot of these neuropaths. So every time you see a stimulus, some neuropath gets lit up. And when we are watching screens, it's so stimulating. These games, these video games, these vlogs and these reels that are going on for every 1 minute, something keeps getting stimulated for you all. So a lot of neuropaths are getting lit. So if you see a brain scan of a child, it looks like a Christmas tree all lit up. So it becomes very difficult for someone with such an excited brain to cool themselves down, to calm themselves down. So yes, this is an epidemic.
Co-powered by
The world comes together at Sharda University.
Bajaj Allianz Life Diabetic Term Plan.
SBI Mutual Fund, a partner for life. UBI, Achhe Log Acha Bank.
The Pawar play. Sharad Pawar speaks to India Today. Warning for nephew Ajit Pawar. Do not use my name or picture. Ajit Pawar launching new party. Claims NCP still with him. Tit for tat sackings and appointments. Real number test on 5th of July. Who will be the true Saheb for the NCP? And the big picture, not state assembly, but Lok Sabha. Will alliance with Nephew make or mar BJP's Lok Sabha prospects? Top focus to the point this evening.
Good evening, viewers. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Choudhry. Let's take you now to the question that we asked. Will this alliance with the nephew of Sharad Pawar, Ajit Pawar, make or break BJP's prospects when it comes down to the Lok Sabha 2024? And is that the end game of this alliance to gain in 2024? Putting across the map in terms of the influence of the Nationalist Congress Party, the NCP, this is what it looks like in terms of areas of influence. Sharad Pawar, Pune, Sangli, Satara, Solapur, Western Maharashtra is where both Ajit Pawar and Sharad Pawar have influence in. And this is the area, at least a percentage of the NCP vote that the BJP would hope that Ajit Pawar would be able to drag in to the NDA alliance. Where the Lok Sabha 2019 was concerned, for the NCP, it won 4 seats with just 1.40% of the total vote share. It was a huge beating that the NCP had taken in the 2019 Lok Sabha polls. The 4 seats that the NCP has: Shirur, Satara, Baramati, Raigad. Areas with which the current new alliance, the BJP, would hope that Ajit Pawar and his battery of MLAs would be able to pull through some percentage of the NCP vote when it comes down to 2024. We're going to break it down over the next 20 minutes. Joining me right now, Rajdeep Sardesai, our consulting editor. 2 quick questions, Rajdeep. Number 1, you're off to Mumbai. Suspense building up for tomorrow's meeting called by both factions, Sharad Pawar, Ajit Pawar. Ultimately, tomorrow should be the decider on who has the numbers.
Look, I think clearly Ajit Pawar seems to believe or likes to believe that he has the numbers when it comes to MLAs. NCP has 54 MLAs. Sources close to Ajit Pawar insist he has 35 to 40. They claim they would not have made this switch unless they had 2/3. However, sources close to Sharad Pawar insist that at least 27 MLAs are still firmly with Mr. Pawar, and they believe that the numbers will only increase in the days ahead. The real question of who has more numbers will probably be settled only when the assembly meets and the speaker takes a call on who is to be anointed chief whip and which party does he see as the NCP. So the role of Rahul Narvekar, the speaker, will become critical because he will have to decide, in his subjective opinion, which is the real NCP, which can choose its chief whip, and then can perhaps that on the floor of the House, we will get a sense as to who has the numbers when it comes to MLAs, Ajit Pawar or Sharad Pawar. But it's not just MLAs, it's district units, it's local level leaders. Mr. Pawar, Sharad Pawar believes that that's where his strength lies, and he hopes to have a show of strength there tomorrow.
Well, at least there should be some clarity tomorrow, because both units, be it the one led by Ajit Pawar faction or the Sharad Pawar faction, have actually called local taluka leaders and members as well. It'll be interesting, the show of strength on either sides tomorrow, and at least some of the mirage where the number game is concerned, would be clear and would dissipate tomorrow. But Rajdeep, I'm going to ask you one quick question. A lot has been done, a lot has been speculated, discussed when it comes down to the Maharashtra assembly numbers, on what the assembly looks like, what the number game is. Ultimately, do you think it's the larger plot? Is this split in the NCP actually engineered, keeping an eye on Lok Sabha 2024? 48 seats, the BJP had swept them in 2019. This time around, there was a bit of a double thing, and possibly the split in the NCP could get a percentage of the NCP vote to the BJP.
Well, I think one thing is very clear, that the BJP's eyes are firmly on Lok Sabha 2024. Vidhan Sabha in Maharashtra follows a few months later, but the first aim of the BJP was to, in a way, dent the opposition Mahavikas Agadi ahead of the 2024 election. Maharashtra is the critical state for the BJP after Uttar Pradesh. They seem reasonably confident of UP, but the politics of Maharashtra has changed. The second largest state, 48 MPs, the BJP Shiv Sena alliance then at 142. Repeating that would be difficult unless the MVA was broken. So clearly one of the key reasons why this break has taken place or the motivation for it was the 2024 elections, plus of course vendetta politics, settled scores that have been left unsettled since 2019 when Uddhav Thackeray joined hands with Sharad Pawar and the Congress. So Maharashtra's politics are still churning, and we haven't seen, I can tell you, the last of it.
Well, haven't seen the last of it, but we'll see you tomorrow, Rajdeep, when both factions meet. A big day where the NCP, who's the real NCP? Will the NCP stand up? Although cliches will be addressed tomorrow. Let's cut across right now to our political panelists. Sanju Varma, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party. Dr. Raju Wagmare, Spokesperson, Maharashtra Congress. Mahesh Chauhan, Spokesperson, NCP. Sharad Pawar faction. Just a little bit of a clarity there. Sanju Varma, the question is, forget about the regional level politics, what the Vidhan Sabha will look like, how many leaders, how many MLAs with Ajit Pawar, how many with Sharad Pawar, who's the real NCP, all of that separate. The actual meat of the story is, this is an alliance engineered by the BJP to keep 2024 in mind, 48 seats, even if the Ajit Pawar faction can pull in a small percentage of the NCP vote, it only adds to the BJP's tally.
You know, Preeti, I agree with you completely. I don't know whether I would like to use the word BJP engineered the split within the NCP, but be that as it may, beyond language barriers and semantics, the moot point is this, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. कहा जाता है that the road to Delhi goes via Lucknow, and we all know that the BJP is in pole position in Uttar Pradesh. We got 62 seats last year, and in the preceding Lok Sabha elections in 2014 it was 73. But Maharashtra, many people said, and even the last Mood of the Nation poll conducted by India Today said, that while the BJP will sweep Lok Sabha 2024, Maharashtra continues to be the Achilles heel. And I think that the BJP has addressed the Achilles heel, and I'll tell you why. Because last time the BJP got a vote share, I'm talking of Lok Sabha 2019 from Maharashtra, the BJP got 23 seats out of 48 with a vote share of 27.84%. And, you know, the Congress, despite having a vote share of about 16.5%, managed to get only one seat. And the BJP's closest contender was the Uddhav Sena, which managed to get 18 seats, again with a vote share, at a little over 20%. The limited point I'm making is, anyone who's familiar with Maharashtra politics, and you being an astute journalist, you know this, that Lok Sabha elections from Maharashtra in 2019, there was not a single poster of Uddhav Thackeray or Aditya Thackeray or Sharad Pawar or Rahul Gandhi. I challenge anybody. Every single vote, even the 18 seats that Uddhav Thackeray's faction got, it was called Shiv Sena then, was on the back of Narendra Modi and Devendra Fadnavis. So the meat of the argument is this, that now with NCP plus Eknath Shinde faction plus Devendra Fadnavis, don't forget BJP at 105, is still the single largest party. Okay. I think it's a no-brainer. Mission 2024, PM Modi is back as Prime Minister. And please remember, I'm saying this on your show, Preeti, and today is the 4th of July. You can hold a gun to my head once the election results are out next year.
Well, okay, we are not America. We know it's the 4th of July, Sanju Verma, but, that's separate. Dr. Wagmare, I want to bring you in. While we are getting tied up in the number game, how many with the NCP, what is the real NCP, the bigger picture, are we missing it? It's all about Lok Sabha 2024, 5 states. As per possibly the Congress's blueprint, Dr. Wagmare, was where the united opposition would have capitalized. Maharashtra, after UP, the maximum number of seats, a state which the BJP NDA swept in 2019, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar and Rajasthan. 5 states where the BJP swept. These were the 5 states where the united opposition this time thought they will make massive reverses. With the current picture, the split in the NCP completely changes that dynamic for you.
See, the split in NCP, first of all, it will not change the dynamics. You have to understand the Maharashtra politics. These 8 or 9 ministers who take the oath, these ministers can come back or maybe they can win the seat, but the rest of the MLA, they will win the seat because the ground politics and the ground people, they are with Mahavikas Aghadi. The NCP vote share will not transfer to BJP at all. And my learned friend was talking about 2019 election. You cannot go by 2019 election because 2019 election is happened because of Pulwama. And because of that, whatever truth or maybe fake surgical strike, whatever they have done. But because of that, the vote shares was different. And after 2019, there is a lot of water went by under the bridge.
Okay.
The situation in India is very
But Dr.
terrible.
Wagmare, you talk about the
democracy
Mahavikas
is in
Aghadi.
danger.
Two of the alliance of the Mahavikas Aghadi, your allies right now, are bitterly infighting and fractured, sir. Where is the Mahavikas Aghadi? Where is the Maha of it?
Yes, I can answer that. If you look into that, the Shiva Sena MLA used to come and used to win the election the same as the Shiva Sena and due to Thackeray family. The same thing with Rashtrabadi Congress party. So when the Sharad Pawar and the Uddhav Thackeray is on one side, so people of the Maharashtra, they are not going with this MLA. The survey shows that they cannot win the election at all. And that is the reason the Fadnavis Shinde fraction did not organize or did not took the Mahanagar Palika elections or the
Well, what comes of the Mahanagar
elections.
Palika elections? That's later. You have other fish to fry, which is way bigger. Mahesh Chavan, spokesperson, NCP, bringing you in. Sir, coming to you. I just want to bring in Mahesh Chavan, spokesperson, NCP, and once again underlining NCP Sharad Pawar faction. But Mr. Chavan, what of this, opposition, unity, all of that, what of that is a separate story right now? Tomorrow, maybe there'll be a bit more clarity on how many MLAs actually stand by you. It's not just about MLAs. It's about local taluka leaders. It's about your local district level heads. All of that, hopefully there'll be some clarity tomorrow. But do you reckon, while, you're skipping over and getting completely tied up in the number game, the larger picture is 2024, sir? And you've lost the plot there.
No. We have not lost the plot at all. See, you have to understand one thing. As you said correctly, right now, the number game, it has to be yet decided. They have not proven their majority. 2/3 majority is to be proven. And we are sure that they will not be able to do that. And if they don't do that, then there is no question of, forming them or being with the government. So if they get disqualified, what is their future? This is one thing. Second thing is, we as a MVA are very strong, and I would like to correct you. You mentioned to Mr. Wagmare that Maha, where is Maha in this Mahavikas Aghadi? So Maha stands for Maharashtra. It is not Grand Alliance. So this is one thing. So Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi, that is MVA, is going to be there. It is very strong, and you cannot, like Mr. Sharad Pawar, who is a very, very powerful leader, and he has said, and we are very sure about it, that he will get to the people and seek their support. It is not that only MLAs who have gone or who are defected from the party. As you said, the party is made of the organization and the cadre, and cadre and organization is with us, and we are sure about it. Tomorrow we have called for a meeting, and the MLAs who support us, the Sharad Pawar faction, will be present there, and will get a clarity whether they are forming the majority or not. So we are not really worried about this.
All right, Sanju Varma, I'll get you back into the conversation. I'm going to flip the question that I asked you. What are you banking on for 2024, Sanju Varma? Let's play out that map there. You had where the NCP combined at that point of time had only a 1.4% vote share, just 4 of the 48 Lok Sabha seats. So what is it that you're eyeing when you, in the face of what at least right now grassroots level scenarios in terms of surveys indicate a resurgence, at least where empathy and sympathy is concerned for Uddhav Thackeray and the UBT?
Preeti, with your permission, I'll just take 10 seconds to read out 4 lines which capture the essence of the political dynamic in India, as it were. Jal gaya ghar mera, ab bacha hi kya hai? और बच गया मैं तो फिर जला ही क्या है. मेरी मेहनत का नतीजा है मुकद्दर वरना इन हाथों की लकीरों में रखा ही क्या है. The limited point is this: in politics, जो जीता वही सिकंदर और मुकद्दर आप आंकड़ों के सहारे बनाते हैं. Politics में in fact there is nothing called हाथ की लकीरें और मुकद्दर. And I'll tell you, the fact that the Modi factor is there, that is a foregone conclusion. But I would just like to, Preeti, twist your question around a bit and say that everybody said opposition unity is something that the BJP will have to contend with in 2024. 2019 में तो opposition बिखरी हुई थी. It was a debilitated, vanquished and a fractious opposition. And I find it so funny that Arvind Kejriwal says, I am not allying with the Congress because they don't support me on ordinance. Rahul Gandhi says, I don't want to be part of any alliance which has the Telangana Chief Minister's BRS party. Mamata Banerjee and Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary insult each other in the vilest of terms, but at the Patna summit, so, as one would like to call it, on the 23rd of June, Mamata Banerjee and Rahul Gandhi almost did a jadoo ki jhappi. The limited point is this: जब नीतीश कुमार हमारे साथ आए थे, I remember everybody said, "अरे पलटू राम has gone to BJP." The moment Nitish Kumar joined hands with RJD, CPM, and Rahul Gandhi to be in alliance in Bihar, everybody said, "अरे सब चंगा सी." I am asking, Modi के टक्कर में है कौन? Is it Mamata Banerjee who has zero presence outside Bengal? It is Stalin. Is it Stalin who has zero presence outside Tamil Nadu? Is it Tejasvi Yadav who has zero presence outside Bihar?
But then Sanju Verma, what's the... Then Sanju Verma.
Zero presence outside Uttar Pradesh.
Sanju Verma, 2 questions.
Is it?
2 questions at the back of it. Then what's the need? Then what is the need for it? But then Sanju Verma, what's the need of an Ajit Pawar who till 1 week back, the Prime Minister himself called the NCP a corrupt party? Then what's the need? Then what's the need of what the first question you began with, that this will bolster your chances in 24? What's the need of having all these corrupt players to help you when Modi ji is enough?
Okay, I will answer that. That's a very nice question, Preeti. Actually, I was expecting that you would, because in the last couple of days, every time I sit for a debate, I am told, "अरे BJP तो washing machine है." तो मैं थोड़ी तैयारी करके आई थी. If Preeti Choudhry, asks me about washing machine, what am I going to say? You've been gracious enough not to use that term, but I'll tell you what. When Ajit Pawar and Devendra Fadnavis formed the government in November 2019, which came down in less than 76 hours. The moment Ajit Pawar became Deputy CM to Fadnavis in 2019, people said, "Arey, look, BJP has taken on Ajit Pawar, who's so dented and tainted." The moment he went back to Sharad Pawar, everybody said, "Oh, sab changa si." So let me tell you one thing, the law of the land will take its course. But if you expect the BJP to be twiddling its thumbs, whereas somebody like a Lalu Prasad Yadav, the investigation against him started in 1996 when Narasimha Rao of the Congress was the chief minister. And if Lalu Prasad Yadav and Rahul Gandhi can discuss when Rahul Gandhi is going to tie the knot.
But Sanju Verma, right now at least the BJP
can't form alliances.
Fair point. But right now at least the BJP with a alleged corrupt Ajit Pawar sitting right next to you is saying sab changa si. Let me quickly take closing comments also. Dr. Raju Wagmere, quickly you wanted to come in. Go ahead.
See, the simple thing is the BJP is so confused. Mr. Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji is also confused when he himself says that he wanted to put everything behind the bar. And rather than putting them behind the bar, is making them sit next to him. So
Ms. Sanju Verma said, BJP will not sit and twiddle its thumb. It's politics ultimately. Mahesh Chavan, closing comments, sir. Quickly.
No, it is not political.
Yes.
It is not political. It is totally corrupted.
Okay. Mahesh Chavan, closing comments.
Yes, yes.
Oh
See,
my
now
God.
Mr. Modi ji will have to change their slogan. ना खाऊंगा ना खाने दूंगा, लेकिन जिन पर जमकर आरोप किए खाने के, उनको साथ में आने दूंगा. This is what he is trying to prove to the people of
Mahesh
India.
Chavan is a
Now he is
double-edged sword.
answering
These are people from your own party. So, but having said that,
So that's what I'm saying.
Modi ji
That
ko
we
Rajdeep
never
ji
made
ko
any
sikhao.
allegations. Please,
okay,
let me
gentlemen, I'm terribly out of time. May I, with your permission?
5 seconds.
With your permission, may I please close the show? I'm sorry, I know you wanted to come in. A quick break to stay with us. Up next is Rahul Kamal. The conversation continues though. Tomorrow, rolling coverage when both factions of the NCP will be holding an NCP meet. Where will the 54 MLAs go? Not just that, the cadre, the local taluka leaders, all of that. Maybe some clarity tomorrow.
Tell us how you feel and the few reasons that came into your mind to shift this most important futures instrument from Singapore to India.
Any IFSC, the fulcrum always is a stock exchange where a lot of trading happens, and that's what India's main asset class, which is the index. Nifty index is the largest traded index in the world, and it also is the largest traded instruments in the world today. Some portion of it for offshore part was getting traded in SGX, that is Singapore Exchange, for over 20 years now, and that's where it was decided between two exchanges and two governments in around 2017-18 that the orders being placed on Singapore Exchange would come to the GIFT City, and they will be matched here along with the orders coming out of GIFT City itself. And that's where the project started in around 2017-18, and today it has culminated into complete transfer of all the orders coming out of Singapore from wherever in the world. When people place orders on Nifty index onto Singapore Exchange, they get transferred onto GIFT City transparently without even the user coming to know of it, and they get matched against the orders coming from GIFT City or other orders from SGX itself. And that is a first time in the world collaboration between two countries trying to compete but also collaborate, and the settlement will continue to take place with the Singapore customers as if they are trading in Singapore, but actually the trading is happening in GIFT City.
How, according to you, will traders in India, this is an increasing demographic profile, we've seen young people come into trading, and all of us without fail start our day in the morning by looking at the SGX Nifty quote, which gives an indicator of how the Indian markets open. About 21 hours will be available for Indian traders to hedge their positions after the main markets close at 3:30 p.m. Apart from that, what all will change for Indian traders since SGX now starts trading out of Ahmedabad and not Singapore? Let's take it for traders first.
Traders who are trading in India usually would not be coming into the GIFT City because GIFT IFSC is actually an offshore jurisdiction as far as India is concerned. It trades in dollars, and normal Indian entities are not allowed to trade here except when they transfer using a liberalized remittance scheme of RBI up to $250,000 per year. So in a way, this is for the high-end traders or high-end investors across the world who have interest in the Indian markets. But naturally that flow which is available to trade on the GIFT Nifty would also somewhere through other means, when the FPIs have the registration in both Singapore as well as the domestic Indian markets, then they may be able to arbitrage between the two markets, and that's where the Indian markets will also become more deeper. But the other side, there are around 60 brokers of Indian origin who have now set up shops in GIFT City, which is actually a separate jurisdiction, and 40 more are in pipeline. So those people will be getting their customers from across the world to come here and place more orders, and that's where I believe it's going to be a more intense competition for liquidity, and also it will create a much larger pool of liquidity into the GIFT IFSC.
deep breathe.
A stronger core, a toned figure, classical yoga. Add some anti-gravity into the mix. And you have this fun, elegant and rather exciting aerial yoga practice going for you. Celebrities all over are obsessed with this Instagrammable yoga. They've been hanging upside down like owls of the aerial silks suspended from the ceiling. The acrobatic aspect makes it a lot of fun and rather very clickable. Shilpa Shetty, Alia Bhatt, Jackie Fernandez, Kareena Kapoor Khan, Ananya Pandey, Malaika Arora and so many more have shown us how they look after their bodies and tone those abs for a beautifully strong core that makes age look like just another number. Aerial yoga is a hybrid one. Developed by Michelle Dotignac in 2006, it involves dancing, Pilates, yoga poses and tons of acrobatic moves.
You have to add on to other ways of format as well if you want to see yourself into a progress to aerial. So either you do your body weight workouts, either you do yoga, either you do ashtanga, anything that has to be, alternate.
If you get bored going to the gym every day or running or walking does not cut it for you, give this a shot. This anti-gravity yoga as a lifestyle change. It will help you maintain great fitness, help with flexibility and balance. Just remember to check with your doctor first. Yes, doctor, because it is so dynamic that there are some who should not do it. Pregnant women, people with migraines, or anyone who is not allowed to hang upside down for medical reasons, people with blood pressure issues. Your doctor can decide if you are suited for it or not. With that clearance, get set and go.
Heart patients, people with cataract eyes, eye operations, people with high fluctuating BPs, definitely they cannot perform aerial yoga. Rest, everybody, depending on their strength, depending on the progression towards flexibility, can perform aerial yoga.
We get it if normal yoga is boring for you, and hence look at how the aerial one works.
Keep breathing, do not hold your breath.
One session can cost you approximately 800 rupees depending on where you go. You require a minimum of 2 to 3 sessions a week for 3 months to learn this properly. And while it looks far more exciting than regular yoga, it has benefits aplenty. It enhances flexibility, boosts your mental health. It can boost spiritual well-being. It could help strengthen your core, help tone the body, help you achieve overall fitness goals. Indeed, this practice is picturesque and looks too tough for beginners. But with the right instructor, it is super simple for most who are into fitness already, with an additional benefit of leaving you feeling super zen. In New Delhi with Nitika Gandhi, Lifestyle Bureau, India Today.
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Growing Legacies.
Co-presented by Century Ply Club Prime, Raho Befikar.
Co-presented by
Macho Hind, Bade Aaram Se. Powered by NECC, Sunday Hoya Monday, Roz Khao Ande.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching the news track. I'm Rahul Kawal. The opposition struggling at this moment after the split in the NCP to forge meaningful unity. The BJP, on the other hand, rushing towards win back old friends and make new connections. We'll look at what's happening on both sides of the political divide in the big build-up to the 2024 elections. That's my top focus on the news track.
jolt for united opposition. NDA builds up its coalition. Realignment in Uttar Pradesh and Punjab on the cards. Biggest political quake ahead of 2024. United NDA versus divided opposition. Big focus on News Track.
The Janata Dal Secular announced today that they and the BJP would fight the 2024 elections in Karnataka together. Remember, this is a story first broken by the News Track and India Today. In the days to come, the Akalis, the TDPs, Kushwaha in Bihar could also be coming back to the BJP fold. The BJP at this moment trying its best to project a united NDA. The opposition, though, seeming divided at this moment. Here's a look at the headlines I'm tracking tonight. War for NCP escalates. Sharad Pawar warns nephew Ajit against using his name and images. Big show of strength by both factions tomorrow. Big BJP organizational rejig ahead of the 2024 polls. G. Kishan Reddy takes charge of Telangana instead of Bandi Sanjay. Ex-Congress stalwart Sunil Jakar to head the BJP's Punjab unit. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami meets Prime Minister Modi to discuss the Uniform Civil Code draft. Says one nation, one law will be implemented soon. PM Modi hosts the virtual SCO summit with Putin, Xi Jinping and Shahbaz Sharif. PM hits out the country sponsoring cross-border terror.
कुछ देश क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म को अपनी नीतियों के इंस्ट्रूमेंट के रूप में इस्तेमाल करते हैं। एससीओ को ऐसे देशों की आलोचना में कोई संकोच नहीं करना चाहिए।
Khalistanis attacked the Indian consulate in San Francisco. Second cowardly attack on the Indian consulate in 4 months. The US strongly condemns this action. The opposition was wanting to unite, but at this moment it's seeming that the NDA is pushing ahead. We're trying to bring new partners on board in top gear. After the jolt in Maharashtra, Ajit Pawar splitting the NCP, the BJP is trying to revive its own coalition. Part of the NCP is already on board. In Punjab, talks on at this moment with the Akalis to bring them on board. Talks also on with the TDP in Andhra Pradesh to bring Chandrababu Naidu on board, with Upendra Kushwaha in Bihar to bring him on board. The BJP trying to send out a message that it respects federalism and it wants to work with smaller parties. Here's a look at our top story tonight.
It started as a mission to unite the opposition against Narendra Modi ahead of 2024. A mission that has been jolted by a Mahaquake. After the NCP split, it is the NDA that seems more united than the opposition.
देश के विकास के लिए बहुत सारे राजनीतिक दल एनडीए का हिस्सा बनना चाहते हैं और एनसीपी ने उसकी शुरुआत की। मुझे पूर्ण विश्वास है एनसीपी का एनडीए में आना और महाराष्ट्र की सरकार का हिस्सा बनना, जहां एक और महाराष्ट्र में विकास को नई गति देगा, वहीं पर 2024 की दृष्टि से भी इन दलों का साथ में जुड़ना और कई और दलों का भारत के विकास के लिए एक मजबूत, निरंतर और स्थिर सरकार भारत के हित में देखते हैं तो लोगों का जुड़ना स्वाभाविक है।
In Uttar Pradesh, Suheldev Bharatiya Samaj Party President Om Prakash Rajbhar, who won on an SP seat last year, is set to return to the BJP.
अरे अभी 27 में चुनाव होगा महाराज, विधानसभा का चुनाव 27 में होगा, लोकसभा का चुनाव आ रहा है। तो हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी पड़ती है बलिया में, तो बलिया लड़ लेवे के चाहिए जाके ना। नहीं, रास्ता तो सबके लिए खुला, दरवाजा देख रहे कहाँ बंद है, खुला ना जाए जे आवे जा। हमारे यहाँ दरवाजा सबके लिए खुला रहता है, आइए जाइए बात करिए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
A realignment is on the cards in Punjab too. Sources tell India Today that the Akali Dal may also return to the NDA fold. This will happen as soon as the party gets a seat share assurance from the BJP. A reunion before Lok Sabha can pay dividends for both. The Prime Minister paid homage to late Prakash Badal in April this year. And last month, at a rally in Chandigarh, Defence Minister referred to the Akali-BJP relationship.
आज जब मैं यहां पर खड़ा हूं तो सचमुच मुझे प्रकाश सिंह बादल जी की याद आती है। लंबे समय से बहुत ही पुराना रिश्ता रहा है बहनों भाई। किंचित कारणों से वो हमारे एनडीए में भी अब उनकी पार्टी नहीं है, लेकिन मैं कहना चाहता हूं, हम एनडीए में जिन लोगों को लाते हैं उनका भरपूर सम्मान करते हैं।
In the south too, BJP leader B.S. Yediyurappa declared the JDS will back them on key issues.
Whatever Kumaraswamy is telling is the truth, and I am going to support Kumaraswamy's statement. And Kumaraswamy and we together will fight in future.
This a day after Kumaraswamy had predicted an Ajit Pawar-like coup in Karnataka.
2018, 19. Anybody dreamt that my government will go collapse? Same thing in Madhya Pradesh. Same thing in Maharashtra is going on. Here also, Ajit Pawar type of person may emerge in future days. For that, actually, we have to wait and watch.
The united opposition is already divided, with several parties not seeing eye to eye on key issues and battling each other in several states. Is this advantage NDA then? Bureau Report, India Today.
Senior BJP leader from Bihar, Sushil Kumar Modi, has thrown a googly suggesting that what's happened in Maharashtra will happen next in Bihar as well. I want to go across to the senior BJP leader, former Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar, Sushil Modi. He joins us now on this broadcast. Sushil ji, स्वागत है आपका. आपने ये दावा ठोका है कि जो महाराष्ट्र में हुआ इसके बाद अब वो बिहार में भी होने वाला है. बताइए कि क्या आप देख रहे हैं, क्या सुगबुगाहट है आपको कि आपको लग रहा है कि जैसे अजीत पवार ने महाराष्ट्र में एनसीपी तोड़ी वैसा ही कुछ अब बिहार में होने वाला है?
नहीं, देखिए, जब से नीतीश कुमार ने लालू से हाथ मिलाया है और खास करके जब उन्होंने ऐलान कर दिया कि तेजस्वी यादव उनके उत्तराधिकारी होंगे, तो न तो उनका कोई सांसद खुश है न उनका कोई विधायक खुश है. उनके सभी 16 सांसद नरेंद्र मोदी के नाम पर चुनाव जीत कर आए हैं लोकसभा का, और उनमें से अधिकांश को इस बात का एहसास है कि अगला चुनाव जीतना उनके लिए बहुत कठिन होगा. और दूसरी बात ये कि पिछले बार जनता दल यू बिहार के अंदर 17 सीटों पर चुनाव लड़ी थी और 16 सीटें जीती थी. इस बार उनको 10 से ज़्यादा सीटें मिलने की संभावना नहीं है, क्योंकि 6 दलों का गठबंधन है. तो इसलिए जो सांसद हैं वो इनसिक्योर महसूस कर रहे हैं. वो अपने आप को डरे हुए महसूस करेंगे, टिकट मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा, मिलेगा तो जीतेंगे कि नहीं जीतेंगे. और दूसरा कि जब से उन्होंने तेजस्वी यादव को अपना उत्तराधिकारी घोषित कर दिया और चर्चा इस बात की जोरों से है कि जदयू का विलय राजद में हो जाएगा और नीतीश कुमार अब 2025 का चुनाव नहीं लड़ेंगे मुख्यमंत्री के नाते, तो जो जदयू के विधायक हैं वो भी अपने आप को असुरक्षित महसूस कर रहे हैं. अधिकांश के विधानसभा सीटों का समीकरण इस प्रकार है कि राजद के टिकट राजद के साथ मिलकर चुनाव नहीं लड़ सकते. तो इसलिए जो एक स्थिति बन गई है जनता दल यू के भीतर, और उसी का परिणाम है कि नीतीश कुमार पिछले 2-3 दिनों से एक विधायक को बुलाकर आधा घंटा बात कर रहे हैं. 17 साल में तो उन्होंने कभी विधायकों को
नहीं, पर दूसरी थ्योरी इस पे सुशील जी ये है कि अगर ऐसा कुछ हो रहा होता तो सुशील मोदी उसके बारे में ट्वीट थोड़ी करते. अगर वाकई में ऐसा कुछ चल ही रहा होता तो वो तो होने में हो ही गया होता. जब मध्य प्रदेश में इस तरह से हुआ, ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया ने छोड़ा, या अभी अजीत पवार ने महाराष्ट्र में छोड़ा, कोई अनाउंसमेंट करके थोड़ी हुआ. आपके जो विरोधी हैं वो कह रहे हैं देखिए बीजेपी चाह रही होगी कि ऐसा हो जाए, हो नहीं रहा, इसीलिए तो सुशील मोदी ट्वीट करके बता रहे अगर होना होता तो हो ही गया होता. ये आपकी हसरत है, हकीकत नहीं.
अरे मैंने ये कब कहा कि हम तोड़कर सरकार बनाएंगे? ये तो मैंने नहीं कहा. और देखिए बीजेपी को सरकार बनाने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, हम 2025 का इंतजार करेंगे। हम बोरो प्लेयर्स को लेकर बिहार में कोई सरकार नहीं बनाएंगे, हम बहुत इत्मीनान के साथ। और देखिए फासला बहुत बड़ा है ना, बीजेपी के आज विधायकों की संख्या 79 है और बहुमत के लिए चाहिए 220-22, तो अगर टूट कर आ जाए तो भी कोई सरकार नहीं बन सकती है। और ऐसी सरकार हम बिहार में चलाना और बनाना भी नहीं चाहते, तो इसलिए उनकी टूट, उनका विद्रोह एक अलग स्थिति है। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि बीजेपी उनके एमपी एमएलए को लेकर और बिहार में कोई सरकार बनाना चाहती है। हमारी दूर दूर तक कोई रुचि नहीं है। और देखिए नीतीश जी को जब से बीजेपी ने अपना दरवाज़ा बंद कर दिया, तो नाक भी रगड़ लें तो भी बीजेपी के अंदर नीतीश कुमार की अब दोबारा एंट्री नहीं हो सकती है। अब उनके लिए एक ही रास्ता बचा है, राष्ट्रीय जनता दल। इसलिए तेजस्वी यादव को बचा रहे हैं। जिस तेजस्वी यादव करप्शन के मामले में चार्जशीटेड हैं और जिस तेजस्वी यादव को 2017 में नीतीश कुमार ने कहा कि आप सीबीआई द्वारा लगाए गए आरोपों का बिंदुवार जवाब दीजिए, जवाब नहीं दे पाए तो गठबंधन तोड़ दिया और कहा कि भ्रष्टाचार के मुद्दे पर कोई समझौता नहीं करेंगे। आज उसी नीतीश कुमार ने भ्रष्टाचार के मुद्दे पर लालू से हाथ मिला लिया और समझौता कर रहे हैं। पर सुशील दस्तावेज तो ललन सिंह के उपलब्ध कराए हुए हैं।
पर सुशील जी, ये भी तो हकीकत है कि जब लास्ट टाइम सीबीआई और बाकी इन्वेस्टिगेटिव एजेंसीज तेजस्वी यादव हो, लालू यादव हो, इन पे पूरी नकेल कसे हुए थे, लग रहा था कि अभी तेजस्वी अरेस्ट होंगे, वो तब था जब नीतीश और तेजस्वी साथ में थे। जब तक नीतीश कुमार आपके साथ थे तब तक तो आपने कुछ किया नहीं, वो केस एक तरीके से ठंडे बस्ते में चले गए। अब चूंकि नीतीश और तेजस्वी साथ में है तो एक बार फिर से आपकी सारी एजेंसियां बंदूक लेके खड़ी हो गई कि इसी को गिराना है, इसी को गिराना है, तेजस्वी को ही अरेस्ट करना है। जब तक आपके साथ में नीतीश तब तो आपने कुछ नहीं किया। अब चूंकि नीतीश और तेजस्वी साथ में, उनमें आप दरार डालने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। बिहार में तो चर्चा ये चल रही कि नीतीश को तेजस्वी की अरेस्ट की तस्वीर दिखाकर आप चाहते हैं कि नीतीश कुमार तेजस्वी से और आरजेडी से अलग हो जाए।
नहीं, देखिए आपका ये आरोप गलत है, क्योंकि ये जो जमीन के बदले, नौकरी के बदले जमीन का घोटाले का मामला है, इसको सबसे पहले ललन सिंह ने 2007 में उजागर किया था। स्वर्गीय शरद यादव के साथ डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह से मिलने गए थे और ज्ञापन दिया था कि लालू यादव रेल मंत्री रहते हुए लोगों को रेलवे की जमीन, नौकरी के बदले जमीन लिखवा रहे हैं, और सबूत दिया, प्रमाण दिया। मनमोहन सिंह ने उसको दबा दिया, कोई कार्रवाई नहीं हुई। और देखिए लालू यादव तो इस मामले में 1.5 साल पहले चार्जशीटेड हैं। सरकार तो बनी है अगस्त के अंदर, 9 महीना पहले, लेकिन राबड़ी देवी और लालू यादव और मीसा भारती इस मामले में जो एफआईआर दर्ज हुई वो तो आज से 1.5 साल पहले दर्ज हुई है। लालू यादव पर जो चार्जशीट फाइल हुई तो गठबंधन के पहले फाइल हुई है, सरकार बनने के पहले। और जब दस्तावेज उनको मिले कि एके इन्फोसिस्टम प्राइवेट लिमिटेड, पूछे तेजस्वी यादव से, ललन सिंह से, ये कौन सी कंपनी है? ओम प्रकाश कात्याल की कंपनी लगाई थी। 1 लाख रुपए में अपनी कंपनी तेजस्वी यादव को बेच दिया और आज उस कंपनी के पास रेलवे की उस जमीन के आधे दर्जन टुकड़े जिनकी कीमत 5 करोड़ रुपए से ज़्यादा है। तो अगर आपके इसलिए आप सफाई देने के बजाय जो आरोप लगे उसका जवाब दीजिए ना। इनके पास तो कोई जवाब नहीं है। अब लालू यादव 4 मामलों में सजा याफ्ता
नहीं तो पर जवाब तो तभी मांगे गए ना सर, जब ये लोग सरकार में हैं। जब तक आपके साथ थे तब तक तो कोई एजेंसी इनसे जवाब नहीं मांग रही थी। जितने दिन वो आपके साथ थे तब वो केस ठंडा था, अब वो गर्म हो रहा है। नहीं, दूसरी बात ये है कि पटना में ही इतनी बड़ी ऑपोजिशन की एक मीटिंग हुई, उन्होंने तमाम पार्टियों को एकजुट करने की कोशिश की। उसके बाद हम देख रहे हैं कि ऑपोजिशन तो बटा हुआ है, एनसीपी अलग हो गया, लेकिन बीजेपी कोशिश कर रही है। आज जेडीएस ने अनाउंस कर दिया कि वो बीजेपी के साथ लड़ेंगे। अकालियों से बातचीत ऑलमोस्ट फाइनल हो गई है, टीडीपी से बातचीत अच्छी चल रही है, उपेंद्र कुशवाहा से बिहार में बातचीत चल रही है। तो ऑपोजिशन ये कह रहा है कि जैसे पटना में इतनी कामयाब मीटिंग हुई, उससे लगता है कि बीजेपी डर गई, अपने रूठे हुए पुराने साथियों को वापस लाने की कोशिश कर रही है।
कहाँ मंशोर हैं? बिहार में महागठबंधन की सरकार बनने के बाद 3 बाई इलेक्शन हुआ, 3 में से 2 हम जीते और एक मोकामा के बाई इलेक्शन में 64,000 वोट लाई बीजेपी। तो 7 दलों के गठबंधन को तो हमने 2 विधानसभा में तो पराजित कर दिया, तीसरे में 64,000 वोट लाए। तो हम क्यों डरे हुए हैं? और इनकी जो विपक्षी एकता की बैठक हुई वो तो पहले ही दिन इसकी हवा निकल गई। अरविंद केजरीवाल छोड़कर चले गए। अभी अखिलेश यादव केसीआर से जाकर मुलाकात कर रहे हैं। 8 दलों के नेताओं को तो उसमें आमंत्रित नहीं किया गया। ममता बनर्जी और कांग्रेस का क्या हाल है, क्या घमासान मची है बंगाल के अंदर, केरल में क्या हाल है। कांग्रेस के जो प्रदेश अध्यक्ष हैं उनको सीपीएम की सरकार ने गिरफ्तार कर लिया। तो यही तो विपक्षी एकता है। तो करे ना एकता, वो क्या मायावती और अखिलेश यादव को एक जगह बैठा कर और मिल के चुनाव लड़ा सकते हैं क्या? पहले तो बंगाल सुलझा लें, जब पंचायत के चुनाव में हिंसा हो रही है, 2 दर्जन लोग अभी तक मारे जा चुके हैं, कांग्रेसी लोगों, कांग्रेस और बीजेपी के लोगों की हत्या की जा रही है, और आरोप क्या लग रहा है कि कांग्रेस बीजेपी की बी टीम है। केरल में आरोप लगा रही सीपीएम कि कांग्रेस बीजेपी की बी टीम है, वो करे उनकी बीजेपी बी टीम है। अरविंद केजरीवाल का क्या हाल है? तो ये एक दूसरे को बीजेपी की बी टीम बता रहे हैं। तो ऐसे लोगों से हम डरते और घबराते नहीं हैं। और हम लोगों ने यूपी देख लिया, जहां मायावती और अखिलेश यादव मिलकर चुनाव लड़े 2019 में, और अब सब लोगों ने कहा कि बीजेपी का सफाया हो गया। हम 62 सीट हम जीते थे। मैं आपको याद करा दूं, कर्नाटक में क्या हुआ था? HD कुमारस्वामी कांग्रेस मिलकर चुनाव लड़े, क्या परिणाम हुआ? तो देखिए, देश की जनता, केवल लोग अगर मिल जाएं 2 दल, तो वोटर नहीं मिलता, भले नेता हाथ मिला लें, नेता मिल जाएं, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है। और हम इन विपक्षी दलों की मीटिंग का दूर दूर तक न हम घबराते हैं, न हम कभी घबराएंगे उससे जो है।
I leave it over there. Sushil Modi, thank you very much for joining us with your thoughts at the top of the news track tonight. You're talking about how the JDU could potentially split, especially the MPs want to be on the BJP side. They want the advantage of being under the umbrella of Prime Minister Modi in the 2024 election. That's what Sushil Modi is saying. But the fact is, post Patna, it seems the BJP has shown greater purpose in trying to bring its allies back or try and win new friends. Joining me on this broadcast, representing the Congress, Mohan Kumaramangalam. With us from the BJP is Shehzad Poonawala. Sanjay Singh joins us. Political analyst Sanjay Jha is with us. And I want to go across to Mohan Kumaramangalam first, because we just heard from Sushil Kumar Modi, the Janata Dal Secular already on board. The alliance with the Akalis, I'm told, has been verbally completed, will be executed soon. The TDP-BJP talks coming along well. Upendra Kushwaha coming back into the BJP fold. Rajbar in eastern Uttar Pradesh is already back in the BJP fold. The opposition has its plate full of problems. The BJP seems to be showing greater purpose in trying to enhance the stature of the NDA.
Rahul, I'm just happy that the BJP finally is giving their allies their dues who they've ignored for the last 9 years, and it just goes to show that how nervous they are after the meeting in Patna and how nervous they are about the growing opposition unity. So if anything, I mean, if they're going to go with TDP, that's the alliance that actually cost them the 2004 election to begin with. If they're going to go with Shiromani Akali Dal, they're going to add to the 3 MLAs that they have in Punjab with the 2 that Shiromani Akali Dal already won. So you're talking about very tiny fractions that they're adding to somehow show that they're a united front, because they're actually incredibly scared at the gigantic front that's staring at them from the other side.
Hold that thought. I want to ask Shehzad Poonawala this question, because your charge is this: Patna scared you. You saw how opposition leaders were coming together. You said, "Baap re baap, na jane kya hoga. Let's try and bring our old allies back." Akalis walked away. TDP was your old ally. You brought them back because the Congress suggests you are rattled by the Patna unity.
Patna is actually a confirmation that because these parties can't fight with us individually, they have to come together. And the Patna effect is what has happened with the NCP. When you try to superimpose the leadership of Rahul Gandhi over the opposition alliance.
But no one's done that. Rahul Gandhi has not been made in charge of the opposition alliance.
From Bahumat to Bahu. All the discovery was being made for Rahul Gandhi. Laluji wants not just Bahumat, he wants Bahu also for Rahul Gandhi. So the moment they started putting out the balloon of Rahul's leadership, you have seen NCP has come out. Akhilesh Yadav has said Antim Sanskar of UPA. He has said now we should have PDA. So there is no UPA in existence anymore. He has now baptized this as PDA, and he has gone and met whom? KCR, whom Rahul has called B team of BJP. Apart from that, before the NCP came into our fold, please see Aam Aadmi Party and Congress fighting over ordinance, Omar fighting with AAP over 370, BSP was not invited, TDP was not invited, you had HAM step out from Bihar, you had a situation where Congress was fighting with the left in Kerala, Congress is abusing TMC in West Bengal.
And also look, Mohan Kumaramangalam, and the fact that the Janata Dal Seculars actually walked away, allied now formally with the BJP. It's the BJP that is being able to strike real success, whereas the Kejriwal's party seems to have walked a different course, and you have very serious problems in trying to stitch this opposition alliance. The idea sounds interesting. the reality is proving much tougher than for Shehzad's party to win old friends back.
Rahul, I'm not sure where you're getting this, because I mean, I'm not saying that every single party that is opposed to the BJP is in this joint opposition alliance as of today. Yes, we have differences. Yes, we are battling parties in particular states or in the local body elections. But what we're striving for right now is having one candidate on a certain number of seats for this joint opposition. I'm not saying every single opposition party is with us. But I'm saying that if this entire conversation is being based on what happened in Maharashtra yesterday, I think we're making a mountain out of a molehill, because we have no idea how many MLAs Mr. Ajit Pawar has carried with him. And Mr. Sharad Pawar is still the national president of what seems to be still a united NCP.
You know, and the other factors
So
are that the
it is
idea
really-
of some of these rebel factions may be bigger than the reality. We've already seen Eknath Shinde, for example, not being able to live up to some of the promises that he made when he switched, which is why you needed an additional buffer of getting Ajit Pawar on your side. So there is no guarantee that because you've taken Ajit Pawar away, he'll be able to deliver on everything he said. Sharad Pawar is still very much alive and kicking. So some of this is the BJP trying to create a buffer, but the promises that these leaders are making, they may not be able to keep.
First of all, we have not allied with any Bagawati Gut. The NCP with its working president, LOP, chief whip, with its Vidhayak Dal, senior most members of the Vidhan Sabha, and apart from that, from their working president and founding members, all of them have come together with us. So the NCP is with us, the Bagawati factions of Shiv Sena and of NCP are with them. The original NCP and original Shiv Sena is with us. Point number 2, I'll show you the difference between what Congress does and what BJP does. He said giving due to allies. We got much more seats than Nitish Kumar in Bihar. Yet we kept our promise and we made them chief minister. We got much more seats. We have 105 in Maharashtra. Yet we have made Eknath Shinde the chief minister. But the moment NCP is having a trouble there, they have started claiming LOP position. Now Rahul,
But you also have problem. NCP,
No.
Ajit Pawar wants to be finance minister. Eknath Shinde very clearly doesn't. They said so himself. He said, we've got senior ministers here at a briefing today. And he laid out his expectations. Eknath Shinde and his faction is not willing to let go of finance. So you have a problem on your hands there already.
This is,
Ajit Pawar said so in public.
Ajit Pawar has said that he is going to work with the government and we are going to give a good government.
We have got senior ministers, old ministers, they've all been around. Yes.
Let me ask two simple questions.
Yes.
One, if they are so good at stitching up alliances, NCP is still with them according to him, the original NCP. Why are they claiming LOP position? 3 leaders, Balasaheb Thorat, Nana Patole and some of their spokespersons like Atul Londe have said LOP position is ours. Secondly, Rahul, please go back in history. Any government which the Congress has supported as an alliance government, where it does not have Prime Minister or Chief Minister post, has it ever lasted
Okay,
its full tenure?
let me put that question to Sanjay Jha. Sanjay,
Deve Gowda,
there
Inder
is
Kumar
political
Gujral, these are
rhetoric
experiences.
and then there is the reality.
Maybe Shehzad doesn't know that the Congress supported a minority government that lasted its full term in Tamil Nadu.
Sanjay
when
Jha,
DMK was in power without participating in government. I think he needs to look up history a little bit and maybe go south of the Vindhyas.
Sanjay Jha, post Patna, we've seen fissures in the opposition camp, Aam Aadmi Party having its problems with the Congress, the split on the Uniform Civil Code, Uddhav Thackeray's party taking a different position, AAP taking a different position. What we've seen on the other side though is that the BJP alliance is getting strengthened. Ajit Pawar is now on their side. That's at least 11 Lok Sabha seats where they now have stronger candidates on the ground than they did previously. And you've got Akalis coming on board soon, the TDP, Kushwaha. You know, the opposition was expecting to unite. What we've seen instead is the NDA starting to strengthen.
Rahul, first and foremost, one needs to understand that when you have coalition governments, whether it was UPA that we are talking about hopefully going forward or the NDA in the past or even today, parties still have their own individual distinctive identity. This is basically what I call as a pragmatic arrangement or accommodation. As I think Mohan correctly mentioned, the Congress actually contests with various parties in the local or the regional elections. And then at the same time, this is the paradigm of Indian politics. You also coexist nationally because at the end of the day, the larger message from the Patna summit.
No, but you're giving a rhetorical answer to a very specific question. No, the reality is post-Patna, it's the BJP alliance that's been strengthened and there are fissures very clearly visible in the opposition. That's the reality, sir.
Well, that's not the reality, sir. Let me tell you why. Shiv Sena, led by Uddhav Thackeray, continues to be a formidable force in Maharashtra. And Rahul, you know that better than me, that Eknath Shinde potentially could face disqualification, which is why the entire Amit Shah Narendra Modi game of Operation Lotus has played out in Maharashtra. I think the people of India are watching. You know, I have called it on your show. The BJP is like the giant anaconda snake. It swallows its own partners. JDU in Bihar, Shimoni Akali Dal in Punjab. Look at where, by the way,
but they want to come back to the. If you're calling it an anaconda, Akalis want to come back. TDP wants to come back.
Well.
JDS has now already announced that they want to ally with the BJP.
Well,
so what kind of anaconda is? He's more like Santa Claus. I can give them gifts in 2024.
Well, let me give you the example of both TDP, which has, by the way, become a non-existent force in Andhra Pradesh. And look at Kumaraswamy. Kumaraswamy has been demolished in his, as they say, the lion has been.
So the last few elections show TDP is a stronger force in Andhra Pradesh than the Congress is.
Well, that doesn't matter. We all know that Jagan Mohan Reddy is far ahead in the race. And by the way, in Karnataka, the Congress has demolished Kumaraswamy in his own den.
Okay.
So it's a coming together.
So that's a good point. That's a good point. Let Shahzad respond to this. Kumaraswamy is coming not because he's in love with the BJP. He's coming because he's desperate. Because the Congress, ironically, is now the stronger force. His bigger threat at this time is the Congress. Is the fear of the Congress that's bringing him to the BJP.
And Uddhav Thackeray ji went to the Congress party because he ideologically aligns with somebody who abuses Savarkar. I mean, what kind of logic is this? Uddhav Thackeray went there, we won a decisive mandate, Uddhav ji and BJP under the name of Modi ji and Fadnavis ji. Because he wanted to become CM, he went and allied with those people his father abused all his life. So let's be clear. And secondly, this opposition unity meet, first Rahul, it was never about Modi Hatao. It was about Congress Ghatao. Why? Because what was the statement before Patna meeting? Bengal say one statement came, we don't need opposition unity here, aap Bengal se bahar raho. Then Akhilesh ji said 80 harao, means no space for Congress. Then Kerala wala said no space for Congress.
No, you are just putting mirch masala. That's not necessarily true.
One second.
This is Shahzad adding extra mirch masala and tadka.
Let me complete. 20 seconds, let me complete. Any of my statements, then now say everyone will start interrupting. Let me complete 20 seconds because I'm 1 versus 2. Any statement that I make is all rooted in reports. I can show you each report. It will take more time. In Punjab and Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party said that we are not going to concede a single seat to Congress. Isn't this the on record statement? So it was a plan that 400 seats per Congress used to contest. It should now come down to 200. It should become a sub-regional party. So it was never about Modi Hatao, it was about Congress Ghatao, and therefore I call it PDA means Piche Dhakelo Alliance. Congress ko Piche Dhakelo.
I thought it meant Pichhda, Dalit and Alpsankyak. That's the PDA, at least Akhilesh was talking about.
It was also,
apart from
PDA
the public
also meant pura disturbed alliance. Disturbance between Congress and AAP, disturbance between Congress and left, disturbance
and some public display of affection as well amongst opposition leaders, not in the classical sense, but just like thoda upar se dur ka dikhane ke liye. But I want to go across to Sahil Joshi now because tomorrow is an important show of strength for Sharad Pawar and for Ajit Pawar both. And both have called MLAs and they'll be out there. We're already seeing, Sahil, some wrangling amongst the Ajit Pawar, NCP and the Shinde Sena over who gets financed. What's likely to happen tomorrow, Sahil? Who's got more MLAs on his side? Who's winning this battle? Senior Pawar or Junior Pawar?
Well, Rahul, it's very complicated, and the Supreme Court judgment, the Constitutional Bench judgment has made it even more complicated because the numbers doesn't matter anymore. If you remember, the Constitutional Bench had clearly said that the earlier decision by the Speaker Rahul Narvekar wasn't right. I mean, he chose the whip of Eknath Shinde camp because Eknath Shinde camp had more number of MLAs on their side. The Supreme Court had made it very clear that the whip has to be appointed by the political party, and speaker will have to first decide in such circumstances that who actually is the real political party when there are two options. Even today, the speaker has got two different reference letters. One from the Sharad Pawar camp saying that so and so Jitendra Awad is the chief whip, and one from the Ajit Pawar camp. So the numbers at this point of time doesn't matter, and that is known to both the fractions very well, because finally this fight will have to go first at the Speaker's chamber, then at the Election Commission, then in the court as well, and finally on the streets when the voters will vote for the Maharashtra during the Lok Sabha elections or the Assembly elections. So the last year what happened with Shinde has clearly given a kind of a blue book which can tell you how to bypass the anti-defection law and get the party in your hand, and that exactly is being followed if you see what is happening with the NCP. Now, on whose side more number of MLAs are? Nobody is claiming at this point of time that how many number of exact MLAs are on their side. Even the Ajit Pawar fraction, they are unofficially they are saying that we have enough number of MLAs. The Sharad Pawar fraction is also saying that a lot of people are coming back. But nobody has ever shown a show of strength the way Eknath Shinde did when he went to Guwahati. When he came back, he travelled in a bus together with 40 MLAs to assembly, and there was a show of strength. That has not happened yet. They want to keep this ambiguity alive, and it looks like that even in Maharashtra Assembly, this ambiguity, this confusion will remain till the time the Election Commission doesn't take the decision, till the time the Supreme Court or some court doesn't ask the Speaker to take the decision within a stipulated time. Till that time, this confusion is going to be on, and it will be undecided at on which side more number of MLAs.
It seems the MLAs are reserving for the moment the right to swing both ways. They can head towards the Ajit Pawar camp, they can come towards the Sharad Pawar camp. They want to take that decision and therefore not play their cards. Sahil Joshi, thank you for joining us. I want to go across to Sanjay Singh. Sanjay Singh tracks the BJP and the NDA very closely. We saw today Bandi Sanjay being replaced, G. Kishan Reddy going and becoming head of the Telangana BJP. Sunil Jakhar, Balram Jakhar's grandson, came in and he's now going to head the BJP in Punjab. Babulal Marandi going back to Jharkhand. What are the signals that you're seeing, and given the fact that Kishan Reddy was a minister, is a minister in the government, does this then mean that all of this is clearing the window for a cabinet reshuffle between the 8th and the 13th?
Rahul, that's a very interesting question. I'll come to the last question later. If you compare 2014 election and 2019 election with 2024 elections, if last election, the key state that was to be fought was Uttar Pradesh, because it was not just SP and BSP. RLD was also a partner with SP and BSP. And even then, BJP fared the 65 numbers. This time, it was believed that election, since it was kind of a joint opposition in Bihar, Mahagathbandhan of 6 parties, and in Maharashtra, 2 states where the number of seats is 48 and 40. In Maharashtra, again, the Mahavikas Aghadi was there. And if you look at 2014 and 2019 numbers, in 2014, the BJP did very well in Bihar when Nitish and Lalu had fought separately, but even then they won 31 plus seats. Last time they won 40 out of 40, 39 from Bihar and 41 in Maharashtra. So that was a fairly good number. Now with this happening, this turning happening in Maharashtra, that situation I think comes back to the position that was there in 2019 or perhaps slightly better. Look at what has happened. At best, I will not comment on popularity or otherwise of Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray. But till yesterday, they were supreme leaders of Shiv Sena and NCP, the Supremo. Today, they are at best a fractional leader of their own party. Whether they control the whole party or not, how much of popularity is there. Today, they are fractional leader. Now coming to appointments that you asked of these leaders, see, these are the states where, some of these states where BJP had not done really very well, except for Jharkhand in 2019 elections. We also had assembly elections in Telangana. G. Kishan Reddy was president of BJP when last elections were fought in United Andhra Pradesh. Now him going back, he has performed well as a minister and also as an organizer. He has been handling key ministries. At the moment, he is handling a very important ministry. Him going, of course, sends quite a great deal of signal. Then Babulal Marandi, somebody who was from the stock of BJP and RSS, became chief minister, subsequently went out, then was brought in by Modi and Amit Shah. And then Babulal Marandi, given charge of Jharkhand, indicates that they have learned lessons from Raghuvar Das experiment in Jharkhand. Same way, if you look at in Bihar, Sharad Choudhry, a new face, a younger face, was given charge as BJP president. In Punjab, BJP, in fact, in some states, there was a feeling that BJP was more accommodative to its allies, as in Bihar, to Nitish Kumar, and to an extent to LJP, where in last election and election before last, they gave Nitish Kumar 17, 18 seats and LJP 6 seats. In Punjab also, when there was a feeling among BJP rank and file that BJP should stand on its own, the leadership believed that since this was a border state and therefore we should play cool to Akali Dal.
But what this shows, Shehzad Poonawalla, is that the idea that BJP had of Ekla Chalo, that we're now strong enough to get 300 plus on our own. The BJP is trying to course correct by being reasonable, being practical, being accommodative, because you don't want to take a risk. You don't want to overextend and end up short. You'd much rather cut your losses, annoy and maybe make unhappy some of your own people, but ensure that you cross that victory margin by a big number rather than take any panga.
Your thesis is wrong simply because when under NDA 2 of Modi ji in 2019, we won 303 seats. Yet we gave share in the central ministry to many of our allies, and NDA was 17 parties. It is still 17 parties.
No, but obviously they were unhappy with you, which is why they walked away. The Akalis walked away from you.
Many people walked away, many people joined. Our doors are open. We are still a 17-party alliance as of date. So, Ekla Chalo Re was never true.
No, but the big parties walked away. Shiv Sena walked away. You've had to split them and bring them back. Now you've had to split them and bring them back, but you couldn't accommodate your allies and keep them together. That's the reality. Can I just have that graphic on our screen which shows how the number of parties which are part of the NDA has actually come down? And even if you ignore the headline number and look within, there are very few senior, serious parties that are left. The others, see, 29 in 2014, down to 18 in 2019.
I know all of these statistics. Now let me answer. I am only saying that you are making a qualitative, analysis of the quality of our allies. You are saying
Shiv Sena, big up all parties.
One second. We did not break any alliance with anybody.
They were unhappy with you, which is why they walked away.
Whether they were unhappy or they had some considerations and interests, that is their lookout. They left. We never asked anybody to leave. Point number one. Point number two, the original Shiv Sena with symbol, Sankhya and Vichardhara is back with us because they felt uncomfortable.
No, but
look, second, let me complete. Now let me complete. The difference, let's understand what is the difference between two alliances. And I'm going back even taking UPA. NDA under Vajpayee ji, UPA 1 and 2 under Sonia ji, and NDA under Modi ji. All of them have a central leadership. Strong leadership under Sonia ji, strong leadership under Modi ji, strong leadership under Vajpayee ji, and the party which has a pan-national footprint. That's when an alliance is made. Today, does UPA, whatever form it is left, is Rahul Gandhi a national leader? No. Does Congress have the same footprint as it had under UPA 1, UPA 2? No. Therefore, today what is existing, UPA or PDA? Please ask the Congress spokesperson first,
Sanjay
what is in existence,
listen to Praful Patel when he says, I was in Patna, I saw how senior party leaders were quibbling with each other in private rooms. It made me feel that without Modi, there is no option. Ajit Pawar saying the same thing. If the Akalis come back, despite the bad blood between the Badals and the BJP, that would suggest that they realize the inevitability of having to ally with the BJP without Prime Minister Modi pushing their campaign. Parties like the Akalis know that there's very little, which is also why the JDS has come on board.
Rahul, I happen to know Mr. Patel and I will not make any personal comment, but I think the world is aware of the kind of ED and income tax and CBI pressures he was under. So I don't think I need to speculate further as to what prompted him to leave Mr. Sharad Pawar. But I think let's cut out the rhetoric and the hyperbole and cut to the chase and look at what actually is the message coming from the people of India. Number one, don't forget that the BJP has lost 2 states to Karnataka back to back, Himachal Pradesh and Karnataka. And that is also telling you which way probably the straws are blowing in the wind.
In assembly elections, not in Lok Sabha elections. 2019 shows that the mood is very different depending on where the election is being held and for what.
Rahul, please hear me out. If you believe that Narendra Modi's so-called formidable brand is still what it was in 2014, or that Rahul Gandhi is, considered to be somebody who's struggling to make his own statement is still the same, I think you're making a terrible mistake.
I'm not believing anything. It doesn't matter what you believe or I believe. It matters what the voters of India believe.
Indian politics is fluid, and let me tell you something here. Narendra Modi publicly makes a statement. He's the Prime Minister of India, for God's sake, and he rubbishes the NCP as a naturally corrupt party a week ago. And look at the
now,
political
that's a big problem, Shehzad Poonawalla. The Prime Minister himself says publicly that they've done scams of up to 70,000 crore rupees and more. Next week, you're bringing them on board. This whole idea, na khaunga, na khane dunga, no bhrashtachar, all the bhrashtacharis are coming to you. Kirit Somaiya in Maharashtra had a 11 of the most corrupt leaders. Except for 3, they are all now in some fashion with the BJP.
I just request you that give me as much time as you've spent on asking the question to answer the question.
Yes.
Has any case ever stopped against any of the people? Let me give you an example. Vidya is your reporter from India Today. Pratap Sarnaik, whom you accuse of all kinds of corruption, when he was with the Uddhav Sena, the TOPS case was closed by Uddhav Sena's police in December 2021. We came to power in June 2022. ED got up in High Court in 2022 December, and I have the reports I can show you, and said that the case should not be closed, it should continue. This is the commitment of Modi. No,
but you don't act against them. Listen, when Himanta Biswa Sarma was in opposition, look at the number of cases against him. When Suvendu Adhikari was in the TMC, look at the charges against him. No, but this is the reality. Look at what was being said against Ajit Pawar on charges of irrigation against him.
Rahul, let me answer one by one. Because if you keep adding the questions, then you won't get answers to any.
Okay.
Let me answer the question. Secondly, if ED was being misused and everybody is coming because of doubt of ED, Jayant Patil has a case against him on ILFS, ED is investigating him. Why hasn't he come? And what cases there on Dilip Valse Patil? So, you know, selectively to say this. And
no,
if
but
all
there
of
are cases
people,
against Praful Patel, there are cases against
one second. Now let me tell you that. Let me answer this. You have again shifted the goalpost.
Yes.
Let me answer this. If Praful Patel had cases, why were they making him working president? Why was Ajit Pawar the...
No, because you are supposed to be different. You are the party that says, na khaunga, na khane dunga.
But at least let me answer more than 5 seconds.
Yes.
You can't keep interrupting every 5 seconds.
Okay.
If Ajit Pawar is the most corrupt person, first of all, they are acknowledging that the Congress NCP government allowed corruption. Secondly, why was he the LOP of their entire Gadbandhan? Why was he the LOP
that is what
of
you
their
are
entire
upset
Gadbandhan?
with. How can you?
But
this is whataboutery of the worst kind. You are citing what they were doing wrong to justify what you are doing wrong.
I am saying something else. Under UPA, cases on Lalu and Mulayam was stopped. But I have shown you a case of Pratap Sarnaik, the case has not stopped. That is the difference. And now let me ask you a different question. Now, Mr. Sanjay Jha quoted 2 elections and he has given his verdict. By 22-23, there have been 11 elections. Out of that, we won 8. 2 have been won by Congress and 1 by Aam Aadmi Party. What does that say? After Bharat Jodo, there have been 6 elections. Please don't interrupt me. Bharat Jodo ke baad, there were 6 elections. 4 have been won by us, 2 by the Congress. So how come he comes to conclusion? And last question. Is UPA alive or is PDA alive? Please ask the Congress spokesperson, is PDA there or is UPA there?
Okay, I'm running out of time. I'd asked Sanjay Singh that question about the reshuffle. He had a smile, he didn't say anything. Is the reshuffle happening or not according to you?
Nobody can say, you know, with this government. But since this thing is in card and much speculated, I think if one man, we all know that Telangana is going to go to polls sometime in November and December. The announcement of which is going to be only 3 months away, sometime in first week of October. So therefore, the Minister G. Kishan Reddy is going to go to and stay there in Telangana for all these 3 to 5 months time. If that is of any signal, the president is away. He is.
Let's pull a googly to Shehzad. Shehzad, हो रहा है कि नहीं reshuffle?
I have.
Well,
he stumped. For once, Shehzad is out of words, Sanjay.
I have not started answering.
Okay.
I have said that if you think that the discretion and the prerogative of the Prime Minister can be allocated to as good an anchor as you or to Sanjay Singh or to me, then I think we are not following the constitution of this country.
Okay, I'm just asking the question. My job is to ask the question.
I need to make a quick point.
Yes, Mr.
Go
ahead.
So I wanted to make a point on Maharashtra itself,
yes,
which is
I'm out of time, huh?
Unless Ajit Pawar gets 36 MLAs, which I don't see happening, the question is who runs the party organization. And as far as any party in India goes, nobody's higher than the national president, who both Mr. Ajit Pawar
why have you then taken the LOP position from them?
Claimed them to be. Hold on a second. So the whip
Sir, why did you then say LOP is ours?
Mr. Sharad Pawar. Do not interrupt me. You had enough time. So my point is that this is a mountain out of a molehill. Both factions except Mr. Sharad Pawar as the national president who gets to make the call on who the whip is. Unless there are 36 MLAs, all these guys are going to be disqualified.
No, listen,
and that
elections
will hold
and politics are also a lot about mahal and narrative. The narrative post Patna is Ajit Pawar moving away from the NCP. Now, no matter who wins in the end, it's a blow. Your nephew's gone away, critical leaders have gone away. Akali is wanting to come back, the TDP wanting to come back, Kushwaha wanting to come back. Those are the political reality. Now, maybe there could be a big ticket announcement sometime. Raj Thackeray gave a tantalizing tease about potentially working with Uddhav Thackeray. It may never materialize. If it does, you need, like if for example the opposition has hit a few big hits, then you need to be able to fight back. Can this opposition fight back? That's the question. Think of it as a T20 match. As of now, at this moment, post Patna, the momentum with the BJP, which is expanding the NDA, bringing more star players on board, and they of course have the superstar in Prime Minister Modi. So now the opposition needs to hit a few out of the park as well. Let's see if they can. We'll track that closely. I want to thank all our guests for joining us. We're slipping into a break. Coming up on the other side, Khalistanis attack the Indian consulate in San Francisco and threaten India's envoy to the US. Details on the other side.
People often donate heart and eyes, but now you can also donate your skin. North India's first skin bank is ready in Delhi's Safdarjung Hospital. Eligible disease donors can donate skin and give someone a new lease of life. Burn victims can immensely benefit from these skin banks for their graft surgeries.
स्किन बैंकिंग में ये खास बात है कि इसमें कोई मैचिंग की जरूरत नहीं है. कोई भी पेशेंट स्किन डोनेट कर सकता है. उस मरीज की उस डिजीज़ की दी हुई स्किन किसी भी दूसरे मरीज में इस्तेमाल हो सकती है. ना कोई ब्लड ग्रुपिंग मैचिंग चाहिए, ना कोई और HLA मैचिंग चाहिए. और जिसमें ये स्किन हमने लगाई है उसको जीवन में कोई स्टेरॉयड और इम्यूनोसप्रेसेंट्स खाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है.
Safdarjung Hospital authorities are also doing everything they can to make people aware about skin donation. With the help of specialized equipment and proven techniques, donated skin is processed and stored in bank before transplantation.
इतने सारे वार्ड्स हैं जो भी नए डॉक्टर्स ज्वाइन करते हैं, जूनियर रेजिडेंट्स हैं, वो ज्वाइन करते हैं तो उनको सेमिनार्स लेके, उनको इन्फॉर्म करके उनको बताया जाएगा. डेथ फॉर्म है, जब हम लोग उसको साइन करते हैं तो उसमें भी हम सोच सकते हैं कि हम उसमें भी ऐड करा दें कि हम आई डोनेशन के लिए विलिंग हैं और स्किन डोनेशन के लिए विलिंग हैं.
As of now, there are 16 skin banks across the country, and here's hoping that this latest center in Delhi opens the doors for many more such skin banks in India. With Neetu Jha, Bureau Report, India Today.
Amid the raging debate on the Uniform Civil Code, Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Dhami met the Prime Minister in the capital today. The chairperson of Uttarakhand UCC Drafting Committee, Justice Ranjana Prakash Desai, was also in the meeting. Will the Uttarakhand Civil Code be a template for central law? Take a look at this report.
The debate over UCC rages on as the Modi government continues to hold a slew of meetings to bring the reform. A day after meeting, Home Minister Amit Shah, Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami met Prime Minister Modi in the national capital. Dhami, remember, has been battling for UCC to be brought to Uttarakhand and has prepared a draft as well for the same.
यूसीसी कमेटी का ड्राफ्ट कंप्लीट रूप से हमें नहीं मिला है और उनका ड्राफ्ट जब मिलेगा तो उस पर तभी कुछ कह पाना संभव होगा। हम बहुत देर भी नहीं करेंगे और जल्दबाजी में जो है ऐसा काम भी नहीं होगा कि जो है कि कोई ऊपर का नीचे हो जाए।
Importantly, one of the committee members who prepared the UCC draft in Uttarakhand also accompanied Chief Minister Dhami for the meeting with Prime Minister Modi. The meeting comes a day after a parliamentary panel huddle came together to discuss Uniform Civil Code. Interestingly, Chairman of Parliamentary Panel on Law and BJP MP Sushil Modi pitched for keeping tribals out of the ambit of any proposed UCC and noted that all laws have exceptions.
The chairperson Sushil Modi said perhaps the tribals in the northeast could be kept out of the ambit of it. But then the opposition members countered, what was the use if there was no uniformity, and also the entire exercise was completely rendered futile.
यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड एक ह्यूमैनिटेरियन इशू है और मुद्दे क्या हैं? सक्सेशन, इनहेरिटेंस, मैरिज, कस्टडी, डाइवोर्स। उस पे यदि हम कंसेंसस नहीं ला सकते हैं तो ये जो हम कहते हैं कि इंडिया इज़ अ डाइवर्स कंट्री, उसका मतलब क्या रहा?
Meanwhile, even as the Law Commission has been seeking opinions from regional groups, the Jamiyat Ulama-e-Hind has prepared its reply. Jamiyat head Arshad Madni will send its opinion that Muslims will not accept any law that is against Shariat and hence oppose the Uniform Civil Code.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार वो ये चाहती है कि मुसलमानों के शरई अहकाम को कुचल करके हम जो है वो यहाँ पर राज करें, ऐसा मंजूर नहीं है। हम उनका विरोध करेंगे। हिंदुस्तान का एक एक मुसलमान काले कानून की मुखालफत करेगा।
As speculation grows on whether the BJP will table the UCC bill in the upcoming monsoon session, can the Saffron Party ensure more consensus over the reform? Bureau Report, India Today.
Khalistanis are on the rampage again. This time they set fire to the Indian consulate in San Francisco. Khalistan supporters also put up videos of vandalism blaming Indian security agencies for the killing of terrorist Rajdeep Sardesai.
A big blaze at the Indian consulate in San Francisco, California. The second such attack on the same consulate in the last 3 months. These images, courtesy local American channel Diya TV, said the video was released by Khalistani terrorists in the US. The act of arson was carried out after hours and was contained quickly with no injuries to anyone. But the act itself has lit a major diplomatic and political fire. Coming as it does just days after the highly successful Modi-Biden Milan in the US. The United States has strongly condemned the incident.
भारत सिखों को बचाने में विश्वास रखता है, ना कि उनका नुकसान पहुंचाने में। इसलिए ये जो लोग कर रहे हैं ये भारत के भी दुश्मन हैं, सिखों के भी दुश्मन हैं और ये आईएसआई की हालतों में खेलने वाले लोग हैं। मैं विदेशों में बैठे सिखों से आग्रह करता हूं ऐसे लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई किया जाए और उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए जो हम सिखों को बदनाम करने का काम कर रहे हैं।
Only 3 months ago, as the Punjab police launched a nationwide search for Amritpal Singh in India, Khalistani terrorists vandalized this same Indian consulate building in San Francisco. Videos surfaced of a huge crowd attacking the consulate as Punjabi music blared in the background. A huge piece of graffiti read "Free Amritpal" was spray painted on the outer wall. Protesters shouting pro-Khalistan slogans broke through security barriers to install 2 Khalistani banners inside the consulate premises. They also hit the door and windows with iron rods. The National Investigation Agency, which believes the 2 attacks are almost definitely linked, may soon dispatch a team to the US to conduct an up-close investigation. While those responsible for these attacks are little more than unemployed thugs who owe allegiance to a desperate cause, the Indian government will be treating such incidents as a serious provocation, especially since Khalistani terror groups have now pulled a fresh stunt, publishing the photographs of India's ambassador to the United States, India's Consul General in San San Francisco, as well as our diplomats in Canada, all in a desperate effort to raise temperatures ahead of a march to the Indian mission in Toronto this Saturday. Canada, notoriously soft on Khalistani terrorists, has released a statement condemning the dangerous calls to violence against diplomats.
हमारे जो पार्टनर देश जो हैं, जैसे कनाडा है, अमेरिका है, यूके है, ऑस्ट्रेलिया है, जहां कभी-कभी खालिस्तानी एक्टिविटीज़ होती हैं, हमने उनको रिक्वेस्ट की है कि वो उनको खालिस्तानियों को स्पेस न दें, क्योंकि उनकी सोच जो है ये रेडिकल एक्सट्रीमिस्ट विचारधारा जो है वो ना हमारे लिए अच्छा है, ना उनके लिए है, ना हमारे रिश्तों के लिए है.
With 4 major Khalistani terrorist leaders bumped off mysteriously in the last few months, a dead cause is gasping for breath, desperate for attention and pulling every kind of stunt possible. But when they attack Indian property and issue suparis on our officials, they must face the consequences. Bureau Report, India Today.
This is where we wrap up the news track tonight. For your time and your trust, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye, good night.
It's one policy short circuit the fledgling electric two-wheeler industry could have done without. A huge slash in subsidies given to EV manufacturers from the 1st of June resulted in a massive hike in prices of e-scooters, and the result is for all to see. Sales of e-scooters plunged in June, with the two-wheelers no more an attractive proposition as they were earlier. The red-hot sector, which has seen massive investments in the past few years, had a bitter reality check in June. E-scooter sales jumped 115% in January, with healthy growth being registered all the way till April. Sales in May zoomed 148% on year, with customers advancing their purchases before the subsidies were slashed. In June, sales were down a massive 57% on month. In comparison, the electric four-wheeler market, which was untouched by the subsidy cut, saw a huge 88% rise in June, even though sales fell sequentially. The sales shock for e-scooters is a result of a huge hike in prices announced by EV manufacturers last month. The companies were forced to raise prices after the government slashed subsidies introduced under the FAME 2 scheme to popularize electric mobility. The biggest player in the e-scooter market, Ola, reported a 39% drop in month-on-month sales in June. It had hiked prices by up to 15,000 rupees last month. TVS Motor saw its e-scooter sales plunge by 62% to just 7,791 units. The company had raised prices by up to 22,000 rupees. Ather sales plunged 49%. The company raised its prices by up to 30,285 rupees in June. Bajaj Auto's Chetak e-scooter saw its sales dip 54%. It had raised prices by 22,000 rupees last month. Okinawa was the only outlier in the list, with sales up 2% to 2,615 units. Analysts, though, are treating this fall in sales as a blip in the long-term EV story, while the cut in subsidies is a big stumbling block. Experts believe the government is still intent on pushing the electric vehicle industry and shifting away from fossil fuels. Bureau Report, Business Today Television. The WHO has put the spotlight on fake sugars, But artificial sweeteners has only been an ever-growing market in India, and outside increase in cases of diabetes and the growing burden of obesity world over has ensured that people turn to alternatives. The demand for low-calorie food and beverages have contributed to the market's expansion in India. For
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 41 and minimum 28 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 29 and minimum 26 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 36 and minimum 27 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 26 and minimum 20 degrees. Chennai, maximum 33 and minimum 26 degrees. Hyderabad,
Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist.
Co-presented by JK Tyre Ranger Series, stay wild at heart. Co-presented by Hayfler, let's reimagine. Powered by NECC, Sunday Hoya Monday, Rose Khao Monday. Co-powered by Watcho OTT, Super App.
One hai to done hai.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination for news, newsmakers, talking points Tuesday night. The big talking point is who is going to win this battle for control of the Nationalist Congress Party, Pawar versus Pawar. Also, is the BJP now looking to take the Maharashtra model to other states by breaking the opposition? Mission 2024, the great hunt for allies. Derek O'Brien of the TMC is among my guests tonight as we look at that issue carefully. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9. The war for the NCP escalates. Sharad Pawar warns nephew Ajit against using his name and pictures in the new NCP office. Big show of strength by both factions tomorrow. Who will win the battle for Maharashtra? Finance portfolio now becomes a sticking point for the new government in Maharashtra. Ajit Pawar's NCP faction demands the lucrative finance and planning portfolios. The Shinde camp objects. A big BJP organizational rejig ahead of 2024. G. Kishan Reddy takes charge of Telangana instead of Bandi Sanjay. Ex-Congress stalwart Sunil Jakhar to head the BJP's Punjab unit. Urination shocker from Madhya Pradesh. Alleged BJP youth member urinates on a labourer. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan takes stock, vows to slap NSA against the accused. Siddaramaiah government orders a judicial probe over 40% cut money charge against erstwhile Bomai government. Retired High Court judge to head the probe. Prime Minister Modi hosts a virtual SCO summit with Putin, Xi and Shehbaz Sharif. The Prime Minister hits out at countries sponsoring cross-border terror but doesn't take on China on its transgressions across the LAC. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami meets Prime Minister Modi to discuss the Uniform Civil Code drafts as One Nation, One Law will be implemented soon. After nearly 2 months of violence, schools set to reopen in strife-torn Manipur from Wednesday. Chief Minister Biren Singh says schools will reopen amidst tight security. Indian consulate in San Francisco set on fire by alleged Khalistani's second attack on the consulate in 4 months. The US strongly condemns it. But the big story that's breaking at the moment, the urination horror that's taken place in Madhya Pradesh. Visuals showing an individual who has political links, Pravesh Shukla, urinating on a tribal laborer. The video has drawn sharp reactions from the opposition parties in poll-bound Madhya Pradesh after the accused was identified allegedly as a Yuva BJP Morcha member linked to BJP MLA Kedar Shukla. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has vowed to impose the National Security Act against the accused. The Congress has launched a scathing attack on the Chauhan government, alleging the BJP doesn't protect the interests of tribals. The Aam Aadmi Party has also stepped in, slammed the BJP and said the man is not urinating just on the poor man's face, but on the entire system in this country. Those are the images which have shocked people. Pravesh Shukla accused urinating on a Dalit man there, Dalit tribal man there. Let's get more details from Heminder Sharma. Heminder, first, this individual, Dalit or tribal laborer, let's get that clear. And who is this person, Pravesh Shukla?
Rawat and alias Palek Cole. He's a tribal and he comes from a village which is about 20 kilometers from the CD district headquarters. And the man who's
district headquarters, and the man who's seen urinating on this person has been identified as Pravesh Shukla. He is a vice president of the Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha and is also the local representative of the BJP MLA Kedar Shukla. The BJP is saying they have nothing to do with him, but his appointment, when he was appointed as the vice president of Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha, that letter is out there in the public domain. And also the day he was appointed as the representative of Kedar Shukla, that particular day a local newspaper carried a news story that was published that day that is also out there in the public domain. This incident happened about 6 days back, and after the incident came to light on social media, when it came into public domain, the accused Pravesh Shukla had the guts, the temerity to once again get hold of this victim and then get him to sign a affidavit in which he is saying that Pravesh Shukla has done nothing wrong to him and he doesn't want to complain against him. It is only today, when the opposition Congress party started taking up the matter, that the chief minister intervened, fearing that this might turn out into be a huge political controversy, because this man is a tribal and the entire politics of Bharatiya Janata Party is to reach out to the tribals in Madhya Pradesh, keeping the elections that are bound to happen by the end of this year in mind. So the chief minister
what is the background and
will be slapped against this man, and
what is the background and context for this man to do what he did? What is the explanation that is being offered?
Well, no one has questioned this man till now. He's at large right now. He has not been questioned by the police yet. The people who brought this issue to light, they are saying that this man was drunk, and this is not the first time that he has misbehaved with people out there. Not just him, there are other representatives of Kedar Shukla. It is being alleged that they have been harassing people, particularly tribals in the area, and they have been also been into the business of land grabbing. So they just did it out of, they could do it to anyone, anytime, because they were just drunk on power and drunk on alcohol. So they did it, and after that, a couple of days later, when this video came out, they had the guts to once again get hold of this man and get him to sign an affidavit, and when nothing worked, today they started circulating a message that this man was mentally unstable and this incident probably happened 3 months back. But the fact is that this happened 6 days back, and this man is a laborer. He works as a daily wager to make a living. I spoke to his elder brother's cousin elder brother's daughter. The family is terrified. The police, instead of arresting the accused, they have taken this victim into custody and sent him to an undisclosed location. No one is able to track him. The family members are also not in touch with him. So I spoke to the SI there. He said that he had asked him to come to the police station because he was not willing to register a case.
And you said Pravesh Shukla is absconding. Am I correct that Pravesh Shukla is absconding? And the police, that the chief minister now says NSA will be imposed 6 days later.
But Pravesh Shukla is absconding, still at large. Police, but just about 5 to 10 minutes back, went to his house. They found his wife and mother over there. They have been taken to the police station. So they are being questioned about his whereabouts because of the political pressure that has now come. But Pravesh Shukla, as till this moment, has not been arrested.
Okay, Hemendra Sharma joining us on that shocker from Madhya Pradesh. Why does it require political intervention or a political uproar or media uproar for the police to act in a case like this? Does this individual have these political connections that have enabled him to get away? He must be given exemplary punishment. Simply unacceptable what's happened there in Madhya Pradesh. Let's turn from there to all that's happening in the political drama in Maharashtra. The Pawar versus Pawar tussle in Mumbai. Let's tell you the very latest. The war for the NCP has escalated. Sharad Pawar has warned nephew Ajit Pawar against using his name and pictures at any events. A big show of strength by both factions is expected to take place tomorrow. Both camps have called a meeting of their MLAs and MPs in Mumbai. The Ajit Pawar faction claims the support of over 40 MLAs, which is more than the 36 needed to escape the anti-defection law. But the Sharad Pawar camp has rejected that claim. The role of the speaker, Rahul Narvekar, will be critical in deciding who is the real NCP. Speaking to India Today, Mr. Narvekar said he is certain the claims, he's yet to ascertain the claims made by the two factions. Now, even as the number crunching is still on, Ajit Pawar has got down to business. He inaugurated a new NCP office near Mantralaya, which is the administrative headquarters of the Maharashtra government. Meanwhile, portfolio allocation is becoming a hot potato for the new government. Ajit Pawar's NCP faction has demanded the finance and irrigation portfolios. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, Shiv Sena MLAs, meanwhile, are protesting against giving important portfolios to the NCP. Let's go straight across to our Mumbai bureau editor, Mumbai Tak editor, Sahil Joshi joins me. Sahil, big show of strength expected between the two factions. Sharad Pawar in South Mumbai, Ajit Pawar in the suburbs. How do the numbers stack up at the moment? Who, in your estimation, has a majority of the MLAs with them?
Well, at this point of time, both the fractions are claiming that, that they have the numbers. And most importantly, it is Ajit Pawar fraction who is unofficially claiming that they have at least 40 MLAs with them. At the same time, Sharad Pawar fraction, who has been telling me that almost 27 to 30 MLAs are with them at this point of time. But, I don't think that right now it is number game, because it's not going to yield anything. The number game is important when you have to make the government. Right now, the government is already made. The numbers will be important when the fight will go to the election commission. At this point of time, the Supreme Court verdict has made it very clear that the speaker will have to take a decision that who is the whip of the party by deciding first that which is the real political party. Is it Ajit Pawar NCP fraction, or is it Sharad Pawar NCP fraction? And that you have seen that with respect to Shiv Sena, the decision is still pending. This decision may appear later. So, it can take a lot of time. There is a lot of reasonable time with the speaker to take that decision. So, both the fractions know it very well that after the Supreme Court verdict, the number game has changed. There is no need for the number game. Right now, the perception building will happen and a game of patience will start, because finally...
So who is ahead in that perception game? Sahil, who is ahead in that perception game at the moment? Who is ahead? Sharad Pawar is claiming that a number of his loyalists are still with him. Ajit Pawar has inaugurated a new NCP office today. The likes of Praful Patel and others are with him. Who is ahead in the perception game? If you are saying this is about perception, who is ahead, uncle or nephew?
Well, uncle is trying to portray that the real NCP is with him at this point of time, and that's why he's going to tour the state to claim that the real cadre, the voters of NCP are there with him at this point of time. But whereas what you see on the Ajit Pawar side, the people who have been there with Sharad Pawar since ages, Dilip Valse Patil, Praful Patel, Chhagan Bhujbal, who were part of the Sharad Pawar group when NCP was formed in 1999. Though all those people are the second lieutenants, the third lieutenants are with Ajit Pawar. So the people who were supporting the uncle are with Ajit Pawar here, and uncle is finding the new people around him so that he can rebuild his party. The term which he used, the rebuilding of the party. So that means his old party has been snatched away by the nephew, and he is now trying to rebuild the party on the basis of the political capital he has earned since 1999. So please understand how the NCP was formed. You know Rajdeep very well than me, because you were here in Bombay at that particular time, that in 99 the people in the Congress who believed in Sharad Pawar more, defected Congress and went with Sharad Pawar to form the Nationalist Congress Party. Now the same people are deserting him and going with Ajit Pawar and believe in him that he is the one who can lead that particular NCP ahead. Whereas Sharad Pawar is now saying that he will bring in the young blood and you will see the new faces in Maharashtra Assembly in 2024.
One name that I'm being told for our viewers, grandnephew of Ajit Pawar, Rohit Pawar, he could well be someone whom Sharad Pawar will project as potentially generation next. We'll wait and see how this plays out. But Sahil Joshi, we'll monitor that perception battle that takes place tomorrow very closely between the two camps. Joining us from Mumbai. The split in the NCP is taking place at a time when the opposition was planning to come together in large numbers to take on the Modi government. The BJP, for its part, is also looking to stitch its own alliances with parties like the Akali Dal in Karnataka, possibly with the Janata Dal Secular of Devagowda and Son. Will the opposition parties, therefore, be able to fortify their alliance, their Mahagathbandhan, or will the BJP now look to break parties and get new allies? That's going to be the focus. The battle for 2024 has already begun. Take a look.
First, a split in the Shiv Sena. Now, a split in the Nationalist Congress Party. The BJP, which won majority on its own in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, is adding to its friends list in the run-up to 2024 Lok Sabha elections. The BJP's great ally hunt comes after the root shock it suffered in the Karnataka Assembly elections and a growing realization that it could be on a weaker wicket in states like Maharashtra and Bihar that sent over 80 MPs to the Lok Sabha. The party is making no bones about its search for allies.
2024 की दृष्टि से भी इन दलों का साथ में जुड़ना और कई और दलों का भारत के विकास के लिए एक मजबूत, निरंतर और स्थिर सरकार भारत के हित में देखते हैं तो लोगों का जुड़ना स्वाभाविक है।
Estranged NDA allies like Om Prakash Rajbhar's SBSP have started making a beeline to join the Modi bandwagon for 2024 polls.
विधानसभा का चुनाव 27 में होगा, लोकसभा का चुनाव आ रहा है, तो हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी पड़ती है बलिया में, तो बलिया लड़ लेवे के चाहिए जाके ना। हमारे यहाँ दरवाजा सबके लिए खुला रहता है, आइए जाइए बात करिए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
In Karnataka, BJP leader Yediyurappa said BJP will come together with H.D. Kumaraswamy's JDS on key issues.
Kumaraswamy and we together will fight in future.
The tremors of opposition quake were even felt in Bihar, where BJP claimed that several leaders from Nitish Kumar's JDU were willing to defect.
जब से नीतीश कुमार ने राहुल गांधी को एक प्रकार से अगली लड़ाई के लिए नेता स्वीकार कर लिया और तेजस्वी यादव को अपना उत्तराधिकारी बना दिया, तब से जनता दल में विद्रोह की स्थिति है। कोई भी जनता दल का विधायक सांसद न तो राहुल गांधी को स्वीकार करने के लिए तैयार है और न ही तेजस्वी यादव को।
In Punjab, there is big buzz about Akali Dal's return to the NDA fold. If it gets the seat share deal it is angling for. The opposition is putting up a brave front, claiming their unity project is intact.
एनसीपी तो बहुत बड़ा पार्टी पहले भी नहीं था, अभी तो और भी नहीं रहा, तो ऑपोजिशन यूनिटी जैसा चल रहा था वैसा ही।
Opposition unity has so far been a mirage, with many of BJP's rivals not ready to see eye to eye. Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao is attempting to create his own anti-Modi front. He met SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav on Monday. The battle lines for 2024 are not clearly drawn yet. Bureau Report, India Today.
So the big question, is the Maharashtra model now going to be replicated across the country? Is the BJP looking to split the opposition wide open? Will 2024 become a battle of alliances? Is anti-Modism still a glue that can hold the opposition together? Will the Maharashtra effect spread to other states. Some of the questions we'll raise. GVL Narasimha Rao is the BJP's MP. Abhishek Jha is JDU spokesperson, a party that is, some say, also next target for the BJP. And Charan Singh Sapra is Congress spokesperson and a Mumbaikar, so knows all that's happening in Maharashtra. But to you, GVL Narasimha Rao, am I right to suggest today Maharashtra, tomorrow Bihar, who knows where next? Is the BJP now on the hunt to either break parties or win over fresh allies? You're on mute, sir. You're on mute, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rajdeep, good evening to you, panelists and all the viewers. It is not the BJP which is on a hunt. It is several regional parties in several states which are feeling insecure about their own future, who are feeling stifled by their lack of leadership in their own parties. People who are feeling suffocated by the dynastic culture in the party where family members only get promoted and people who have given their sweat and blood for the party have no future in the party whatsoever. So it is this kind of suffocation in regional parties which is making them exit from their party.
Are you saying that the BJP has a hands-off approach? Are you seriously telling me that the BJP is not making any effort to break these parties or woo these parties? I am told that Amit Shah ji has had late night meetings with Chandrababu Naidu, the same Chandrababu Naidu who was your opponent 5 years ago in Andhra Pradesh. Late night meetings. I am told that the Akalis are also in discussion with the BJP. The BJP is letting out the fact they claim that even a section of the JDU could split and join them. I mean, are you telling me all of this is happening without the BJP being involved? These parties are imploding on their own?
Yes, certainly. Implosion in these parties has nothing to do with the BJP. But if somebody who splits away, because we had a government in Maharashtra which was running as a stable government, and the NCP's internal turmoil has led to a split, or rather I would say the entire party leaving lock, stock and barrel and joining with the BJP or joining the BJP in the coalition government. This is certainly not an effort by the BJP. You can, if it was so easy that BJP makes an effort and you can split political parties, then I think no party should be existing. Then we can make an effort to bring every party into the BJP fold. It doesn't happen that way. Let's not kid ourselves. In politics, political parties, they work according to their own interests. Leaders certainly work according to their own future. Otherwise, why should we be having all 543?
Well, we never know. There's a joke going on WhatsApp that the final person to split will be Rahul Gandhi, who will one day join you. At the moment, he's the one holding out. Everyone else is vulnerable. That's a joke on WhatsApp. Charan Singh Sapra, but respond to what you're hearing from GBL. He says, look, parties are imploding. NCP has a battle within Pawar versus Pawar. Why blame us? They may be the beneficiaries, but according to him, the BJP is not actively seeking any allies. Parties are coming to them because they believe the BJP is the future.
See, Rajdeep, if the parties are, there is a echo. Please remove this. If the parties are imploding, then why Bharatiya Janata Party is allying with the people whom they themselves have said that they are Bhrashtacharis? Why are they allying with them? Or why are they taking them into their party? Number one. See, Rajdeep, the issue mainly is that Bharatiya Janata Party, who calls themselves the so-called Majboot Party, Majboot BJP, is turned out to be a Majboor BJP after the Patna alliance meeting. And secondly, they also understand that they have lost 2 assembly elections, that is Himachal and Karnataka, within a span of 6-7 months. And they tried everything in Karnataka and Himachal Pradesh. Even Himachal was a Hindu majority state. They could not win over there. Even Pakistan and polarization both could not help them. Even Basavna and Bajrang Bali did not come to the rescue of Bharatiya Janata Party because they also knew that BJP is working on 3 J's. That is Jhoot, Jumla and Jugglery. The way they have done the jugglery in Maharashtra, the whole nation is watching. The way they did the jugglery earlier in Madhya Pradesh or Karnataka or Goa or Manipur,
Mr. Sapra, you're calling it jugglery.
The whole nation is
you're calling it jugglery, but why are your people so willing to be juggled? let's be clear. Why is it that the NCP is so, in Maharashtra, for example, is so willing to be juggled? Why are other parties so willing to be, to be wooed by the BJP? Tali do haath se bajti hai.
See, I'm answering you. See, the way BJP is using the ED, IT, CBI, all the government agencies are being used as the toolkit of Bharatiya Janata Party's election process. Now, these agencies, if they are being used by BJP as toolkit, everybody is scared. You see who has joined this alliance government. It is Ajit Pawar, whom they said that he's a Bhrashtachari. Hassan Mushrif, Kirit Somaya was shouting, he was yelling, he's a chore. And they have taken that chore as a minister. Then Chhagan Bhujbal, all these people, BJP has been saying that they are the Bhrashtacharis. It is not Congress party who is saying. It is BJP who said. And it is the Prime Minister of the country who also said that he will give a guarantee to fight the Bhrashtacharis. Now the same Prime Minister is allying with these Bhrashtacharis. He has to answer to the nation. वो कहते हैं कि ना खाऊंगा ना खाने दूंगा, लेकिन यहाँ आप कह रहे हैं कि खाने वालों को प्रोत्साहन भी दूंगा और खाने की खुली इजाजत दूंगा. What is going on in this country? Just for power, just to grab power.
You made
the thirst of power of BJP is not going.
You made the point, you made it strongly, but GVL, you want to respond before I go to the JDU guest? Because the fact is, the BJP claims that they are the party which is above all this, the politics of corruption. And yet what you seem to be doing is, because ahead of the 2024 elections, you want to break the opposition. You're willing to compromise on what you claimed was your stand on corruption. That's the reality. The same Chandrababu Naidu who was targeting you, as I said 5 years ago, Amit Shah is now in conversation, in dialogue with him. The same Ajit Pawar, whom you said is the epitome of corruption, who Devendra Fadnavis said, I will send to jail. You are now, is your deputy chief minister. Is the BJP getting desperate ahead of 2024 in some way, sir?
No, Rajdeep, all the names that you mentioned, these are political leaders who have been making strong overtures to the BJP, who have been wanting to, because they all have been out of power. It is BJP has been in power. For God's sake, we are in power for 9 years. And
so then why do you need these leaders? No, if you are in power, if you are so confident of winning 2024, why do you need to break parties? Why do you need to take the same people whom you've called corrupt? That's the question.
No, there is no question of breaking political parties, Rajdeep. And it's not the BJP.
Why take in ministers accused of corruption then? If you are so confident, why take in these ministers? Either then you're a washing machine for them, or you're desperate to break the opposition. Which is
Is Congress party saying that they had made Ajit Pawar corrupt, fully knowing that he was, they had made him deputy chief minister, fully knowing he was corrupt? Or is Sharad Pawar willing to say this on record?
Who was saying that he's corrupt?
Is Sharad Pawar willing to say this on record? Can Sharad Pawar claim himself to be clean? Can Rahul Gandhi say he's
BJP
clean?
Who was
they are all facing charges.
As corrupt, not Congress.
Okay, they are claiming you are. Congress is claiming BJP said they were corrupt.
Then you are not going. They are already facing certain charges. And whatever cases are ongoing against anybody, they will go never, irrespective of whether they have joined the government or outside the government, whether it is of BJP or that of UPA. It does not matter. We have not dropped any cases against anybody.
Let me just bring in Abhishek Jha, who's patiently listening, JDU, because the belief is, Aaj Maharashtra, kal Bihar. Today Maharashtra, tomorrow Bihar. The next vulnerable party, according to BJP sources, is the JDU. They will target Nitish Kumar's MLAs and try and break the JDU. How worried is the JDU now that you could be next?
We were earlier also relaxed and now also very much relaxed. Busy in doing work for the welfare of the society and the responsibility which the people of Bihar have given to Honorable Nitish Kumar. I would like to answer.
No, but this is a Nitish Kumar who has tied up with the BJP in the past. Who is to say that some of your JDU MLAs may not want to switch to the BJP? Everyone wants power and protection.
See, many of the states have witnessed how BJP have used their tools, have used their Sam, Dam, Dandabhed just to acquire power, just to be in the government. They have utilized every tool they have. But Bihar is the only state which has taught a very strong and good lesson to the BJP. Bihar is the state which has given a message to the entire nation that there can be change. And BJP here is filled with fear. Rajdeep, I agree with the fact that what has happened in Maharashtra can also take place in Bihar. In Maharashtra, a party in the opposition, many of the MLAs can join the government. Here also in Bihar, the main opposition party, BJP, there's so many leaders, their MLAs, MPs are very much willing to join hands with the Mahagathbandhan. But we have to decide the process and whom to choose.
But Abhishek Jha, only yesterday the charge sheets have now been filed in the railway job scam case where Tejasvi Yadav has been named. In the past, Nitish Kumar had targeted Tejasvi Yadav and the Yadavs for corruption. Now they are partners. So, politics mein sab kuch chalta hai, it looks like. How confident are you that your Mahagathbandhan will remain? This Bihar Mahagathbandhan, will it remain till 2024?
Why not? We are very much confident about it. As per my information, Rajdeep, the charge sheet which has been put up now, the charges which have been put on Tejasvi Yadav ji, were earlier also put up on him, and the CBI itself claimed that he is away from those charges. But CBI now is intentionally putting up such cases in order to threaten the leaders of opposition.
Right.
But we are very sure of the fact that they will never be successful in their mission.
Okay.
In Bihar,
you're saying they won't. You're saying they won't. Okay. You're saying that your Gathbandhan is strong, but Charan Singh Sapra, let's understand this. For the Congress at the moment, this Mahagathbandhan is seen as their way of taking on the Modi government in 2024. Are you worried that because there are so many differences within this Mahagathbandhan, let's be honest, Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress have a lot of differences. The left and the Congress in Kerala have differences. KCR in Telangana doesn't want to have anything to do with the Congress. Are you going to go down the Mahagathbandhan route, or are you going to go down the route of first strengthening the Congress and then seeing what happens in 2024?
See, Rajdeep, number one, I would like to say कि हमारे में मतभेद हैं लेकिन मनभेद नहीं है. We will handle the situation, and the 2024 elections will be, like 2004 election. There will be some pre-poll alliances and some will be the post-poll alliances. Like in 2004, we had pre-poll alliances. We got 140 seats under the leadership of Srimati Sonia Gandhi. A candidate for Prime Minister was selected, and Dr. Manmohan Singh comfortably, he could run the government for 10 years. We had post-poll alliances also. So similarly, in 2024, we'll have pre-poll alliances as well as some post-poll alliances, and there will be no issue. The major issue is that we have to fight on the issues of people. It will be Modi versus Mudda. Modi on one side and issues on the other side. So the fight of 2024 will be Modi versus Mudda.
Okay, Modi versus Mudda. Nice. You're coming up.
Unemployment, it will be inflation.
Yeah, you're coming up with nice one-liners. Modi versus Mudda, poverty, unemployment, economic distress will be the issues. A final word, GVL Narasimha Rao, how worried is the BJP? You're smiling through this show. The BJP seems to believe that 2024 is a done deal. Do you really believe it's a done deal, or do you believe that picture abhi baki hai?
Rajdeep, the manner in which BJP works, I'm sure journalists like you keep track of what is happening. We have fanned out into 543 constituencies for the last 1 month. For the last year and a half, in 150 constituencies which are considered tough constituencies, all our ministers and senior leaders have been visiting everywhere. We are in the process of even appointing new state presidents in some states.
You've done it today.
Keeping the organization battle ready. The opposition, by the time Rahul Gandhi goes for another foreign yatra and comes back, he will realize that he may not get the number of seats that he has got last time for the Congress in 2019. Okay, so the speed at which the speed, the scale, the three S's the Honorable Prime Minister speaks of: speed, scale, and also the intensity of the efforts that BJP makes are so humongous. And as a political party, we take pride in ourselves.
Okay.
For us, we have to work towards gaining the confidence of the people. We have to expand our party. We have to keep ourselves battle ready for 2024 to improve upon our present strength of 303.
Okay, and that's why
we are confident of doing that.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Where then the Ajit Pawars and the Chhagan Bhujbals and the Hassan Mushrifs, whom you accused of corruption not too long ago, fit in, is of course another big question. But we will continue raising those questions. This is one show which will raise questions of all, is all I can promise ahead of 2024. Abhishek Jha, Charan Singh Sapra, GVL Narasimha Rao, appreciate your joining us. Okay, what then is the road ahead for the opposition? Remember, they had this big meeting in Patna, and now they are planning another one in Bengaluru. Derek O'Brien, TMC Rajya Sabha leader, joins us. He was there at the Patna meeting. Appreciate your joining us, Derek O'Brien. If I'm not mistaken, I was told you were at the lunch table with Praful Patel of the NCP, and the same Praful Patel was on my show last night saying this Mahagathbandhan is a non-starter. One of the reasons we've joined hands with the BJP and the leadership of Modi is what we trust. This Mahagathbandhan is not going to take off. Your response?
I can tell you who else was at that lunch table, and I can tell you who else was at that meeting, because that's important. The people at the meeting, and I'm not talking about people like me who were accompanying our leaders, leave them out. There were, all parties had one or two people accompanying their party president. At that meeting, party president, party chief, that group of core leaders, including my leader Mamata Banerjee, Mr. Kharge, Rahul Gandhi, Mr. Stalin, Mr. Kejriwal, Mr. Pawar, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, that if you take that one group, that adds up to about 25 terms of chief minister. That group adds up to about 50 terms as members of parliament. That group adds up to 400 years of public life. That is all of them.
That group
together.
Adds up, Mr. Derek O'Brien, to less than 150 MPs.
I see. So you finished. I was giving you my explanation. You've already done the survey, 150 MPs. That group has obviously had some serious effect, because after the Patna summit, less than 10 days ago, the washing machine businesses started. And by the way, you keep using the washing machines. What I've picked up is that the Washing Machine Association of India may object to the term washing machine being used, because it's an insulting, the BJP's actions are even insulting the washing machines. But on a more serious note, what is on offer? Let's say what is on offer, because in 2024 and beyond that, 3 or 4 basic issues on offer. On one side, what we are humbly offering the country is democracy. On the other side, there's dictatorship. We're offering the young people of the country jobs and controlling price rise. On the other side, no jobs, no control of price rise. And we are offering the country that the guiding book will be the constitution, federalism, and on the other side, break it all up. And there's one other very
what is your
important thing.
No. You're all very well jobs. Where is your clear economic agenda? Where is your clear economic agenda? Where is the political cohesion? Where is the chemistry?
Very nice. Mr. Sardesai, what are you asking me about? Mr. Economic agenda. You're asking me about political agenda. You're asking me about chemistry. Let me talk to you first. Before chemistry, let's talk about humility. At the Patna summit and at the Bengaluru summit and in the forthcoming summits, we have the humility to say that we don't know everything, that we occasionally make mistakes and we can fix those mistakes. You've asked me 3 questions on economic agenda, political agenda, and something else. Did you or anybody else in your very respected channel ask the Prime Minister any of these questions when he came to you? You didn't. You ask us the questions, we have the humility to come on your channels and try and answer the questions. That's the difference, Mr. Sardesai. We have the humility to admit that we don't have perfect answers, but we do not agree that Manipur should not be discussed. A leader from the Congress party went to Manipur. My leader, Mamata Banerjee, wrote a letter in June That's the difference. And I really believe this is not the time to shout and come up with catchy slogans. No. The people of India have seen enough of this arrogance. And you talk about the BJP, it's not the BJP. It's Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah's BJP. They disrespect Parliament.
Mr. Derek O'Brien, I will put a direct question to you. Since your Patna meet, Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress have been in a war of words here in Delhi.
Patna.
One minute. Since the Patna meet, a Congress leader of Karnataka was arrested, senior Congress leader in Kerala was arrested by the left-ruled government there. Since that meet, K. Chandrasekhar Rao is now wooing the likes of Akhilesh Yadav. Since the Patna meet, you've got your panchayat elections in Bengal where you are contesting against the left and the Congress. Chemistry matters at the moment, and you've got Sharad Pawar's party that has split wide open, including one of the participants there, Praful Patel, shifting to the other side. So therefore the question arises, the Maha Gadbandhan that you're talking about, to some observers, will appear like a Maha Khichdi, which is not yet cooked.
So that's a 55-second question. If you've asked me a 55-second question, then you must give me at least a 120-second answer, because you've raised multiple issues. First, we are different political parties. We're not photocopies of each other. Straight up. There are different issues, and those are issues which will not be discussed in the Bengaluru summit. First, we have to get a broad agreement. We are not one majoritarian, one-size-fits-all. No. We are 15, 14, 16, 18 democratic parties. That doesn't mean we don't run in a system where whatever two leaders of the Patna summit say, everyone must follow. No, we are not Modi and Shah. That's the difference. I was at that meeting, and let me tell you, the graciousness, the generosity of the senior leaders there who spoke, from my leader, Ms. Mamata Banerjee, to Mr. Stalin, to Mr. Gandhi, to Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, to Arvind Kejriwal, to Sharad Pawar, to Umar Abdullah, something very serious happened there. It was much more than a lunch, and it was much more, it was sharing.
It's all very well to share, Mr. O'Brien. It's all very well to share thoughts at a lunch. The reality on the ground. No, Mr. O'Brien. What is the reality? The reality, you and the left and the Congress are in a battle, in a war in Bengal. That's the reality. Aam Aadmi Party versus Congress is a battle. This is the reality.
Please understand. No. Mr. Sardesai, you're using these words like war. We are fighting panchayat elections in Bengal. Yes. The local leadership in Bengal of different parties have different alignments. Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Congress and the Congress party have a different point of view about Punjab and Delhi. Let's go back to January. On your shows, January 2023, would you have imagined there would have been a Patna summit? Would you have imagined there'd be a Bengaluru summit? Let me confirm here on your program, I'm not the spokesperson on behalf of the summits, but my sense is there'll be a third summit and there'll be a fourth summit. And because the feeling one got at that meeting, and this is not a negative feeling about removing Modi and removing BJP, no, it's a positive feeling about restoring the basics of democracy, of federalism, of deep divisive, interreligious. Let me finish my thought. Yes. Mr. Sardesai, you're normally not like this, but today because you're from Maharashtra, you're getting a little more excited.
I will ask you a simple Mr. O'Brien, a final question. I heard a lot of this in 2019 as well. Ahead of the 2019 elections, you all went to Mr. Kumaraswamy swearing in. All of you were holding each other's hands. Now you attend Siddaramaiah swearing in and you do the Patna meeting. What happened in 2019? Final question, how is 2024 going to be any different from 2019?
It's already very different. It's already very different. I'll make one last point about how different it is. Mr. Guarantor against corruption, Mr. Modi, few days ago he said, I'm the guarantor of corruption. The story for India is only one story. This man is the guarantor for corruption, wants to please 100 people. This is the guarantor for corruption who can fill the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad with the corrupt people in his party. Who will you trust as a guarantor for corruption? In Bengal, you will trust Ms. Mamata Banerjee. She's your guarantor for corruption. In the Congress states, you will trust Rahul Gandhi and the local leadership to be the guarantor for corruption.
Mr. O'Brien, there's a long list of TMC leaders also who face charges of corruption.
So don't tell me about corruption.
There are TMC leaders who also face serious charges of corruption.
You said what?
There are TMC leaders who also face serious charges of corruption.
Exactly. Mr. Sardesai, you've said something about TMC leaders, so you have to give me an opportunity to reply. The two TMC leaders who have faced charges of corruption have been expelled and suspended from the party. Hold on. Those who want the washing machine to be used for their corruption, what did they do? Whether they are from Worli, whether they are from Madhya Pradesh, whether they are from wherever in the country, what do? You join the BJP. You go in with your black t-shirt and you come out with a white t-shirt.
Okay.
We are very, very clear. Don't take us, please underestimate us. I want all of you to underestimate this Bangalore summit. You keep underestimating us, Please carry on doing that.
I'm not underestimating anyone. I've been long enough in this business to know who knows what tomorrow brings. I'm not a soothsayer. My job as always is to ask the questions. Derek O'Brien looking spiffy in his blue t-shirt. Thanks very much for joining me here on the News Today. Let's take a break. On the other side is our Good News Today story and our ground report. You're watching the News Today. News without the noise.
While some of the drivers and conductors of Haryana roadways are infamous for their arrogance, Sukhbir Chotiwala is a pleasant aberration. Sukhbir, who hails from Rithal village of Rohtak, works as an operator of Haryana roadways. Working since 2017, Sukhbir makes sure his passengers are comfortable. In the scorching heat, Sukhbir serves water to all the passengers from his salary.
मेरी ड्यूटी जयपुर रूट पे लगी थी सोनीपत से जयपुर तो उस टाइम बहुत गर्मी थी तो मैंने वहाँ देखा सवारी बच्चे पानी के लिए गर्मी में बहुत बुरा हाल था जी तो मैंने सोचा ड्यूटी के साथ साथ क्यों ना थोड़ा ये धर्मपुन का काम भी हो जाए और उसी दिन से आते मैंने 4 कैंपर खरीदे और अगले दिन मैं कैंपर ही लेके गया रूट पे और ये जल की सेवा फिर वहीं से शुरू की जी मैंने
Sukhbir's selfless act has impressed Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar, who praised Sukhbir in a tweet and invited him to Chandigarh to felicitate him. No wonder Sukhbir's bus is a favourite among passengers amid the prevailing heat wave condition. Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Welcome back. Let's turn to tonight's ground report, which comes from Bengal, where remember next week the big panchayat elections will take place. Ahead of the election, the big question is violence. A day after Governor Ananda Bose sent a 48-hour deadline to bring peace, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has written to the State Election Commission claiming the governor is hampering the poll process. While the political battle continues, India Today visited Bhangar in South 24's Parganas, where the TMC is locked in a fight with the Islamic Secular Front. A ground report.
Bhangar in South 24 Parganas, the epicenter of political violence in Bengal over the last few weeks. 3 people lost their lives in the clashes between the cadres of the Indian Secular Front and the Trinamool Congress as they battled to file nominations for the Panchayat elections.
We from India Today arrived at South 24 Parganas' Bhangur, and we met these people who have claimed that they are not being able to return to their houses. They claim that they are afraid until the elections are done and done peacefully only, they may not be able to return to their houses.
ISF member Asma Khatoon managed to file her papers on June 12th under police protection given by the Calcutta High Court. Asma, a high school history teacher from Kochua, claims she has not returned home since then. The ISF candidate is now staying at a location which she does not want to reveal, citing threats to her life.
নতুন করে একটা আমাকে মানে মেসেজ পাঠালো লোক মাধ্যমে যে ওকে খুন করা হবে, তবে গুলি করে খুন করলে এই মুহূর্তেও ভাইরাল হয়ে গেছে, ওটা ইনভেস্টিগেশন হবে বা ওদের উপরে খুনের একটা দায় আসবে, তো ওকে ও যখন রাস্তা দিয়ে যাবে ওকে অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট দেখানো হবে, মার্ডারটাকে ওকে মার্ডার করবে অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হিসাবে, মানে গাড়ির তলায় দিয়ে ওকে পিষে দেওয়া হবে, এইরকম একটা থ্রেট।
Asma accuses the state police of being hand in glove with the ruling TMC.
আমার 2 নম্বর ব্লকে আমি যখন ডিসিআরটা কাটছিলাম কাউন্টারে, সেই সময় আরাবুল ইসলাম মানে ভাঙড়ের প্রাক্তন এমএলএ আরাবুল ইসলাম, ওনার দলবল, ওনার সঙ্গে অনেকজন মানে এই 1-200 মতন লোক ছিল, তাদেরকে নিয়ে নিচে নেমে আসলেন এবং আমার দিকে খুব মানে বড় বড় চোখ করে তাকাচ্ছে এবং ওনার সঙ্গে জাজগার মোল্লা ছিল বা আরও ছেলেরা ছিল, তারা আমাকে খুনের হুমকি দিয়েছে, তুই বাইরে বেরো, তোকে দেখে নেবো, তোকে মার্ডার করে দেবো, এই বলে আমাকে হুমকি দিল। আমি সেটাকে ওখানে একজন পুলিশ ছিল, আমি ওনাকে জানালাম যে আপনার সামনে আমাকে হুমকি দিচ্ছে, আপনি কিছু বলছেন না? বললো না, আমার কাজ হচ্ছে লাইন সোজা করা, আমি এগুলোর মধ্যে নেই।
The TMC's Bhangur strongman, Arabul Islam, blamed by the ISF, rejects the charges.
মিথ্যে কথা বলছে, নওশাদ সিদ্দিকীর তো ভাষাটাই মিথ্যে। আমরা ভাঙড়ের সমস্ত মানুষের সাথে কন্টিনিউ যোগাযোগ আছে, আইএসএফের ছেলেরা আমাদের চোখের সামনে ঘুরে বেড়াচ্ছে।
The ISF claims many of its workers are living in fear, away from their homes. Two party workers recently met Bengal Governor CV Ananda Bose to raise their concerns. The TMC has time and again defended its government, saying incidents of violence during Panchayat polls have come down from the days of left rule. With Suryagni Roy in Bhangur, Bureau Report, India Today.
Battle for Bengal. Let's turn from there and end our show tonight with a good news today story. Anna from Kazakhstan runs an NGO in India that works to provide education to underprivileged children. Through her organization, which she started during the COVID pandemic, Anna has now changed the lives of many children. It's a kind of inspiring story that leaves you with our good news today package. You stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubh Ratri, Jai Hind, Namaskar.
This woman from Kazakhstan has made it her life's mission to help underprivileged children. Anna started an NGO during COVID-19 to educate children in Jaipur who can't afford going to school. Anna's NGO called Indian Women Impact has been at it for 3 years now, changing the lives of so many children for the better. Acting as a bridge for children from less privileged families. She offers quality coaching alongside her team of committed teachers.
The children, those who live in Basti, they go to government school and they come here for study to get extra knowledge. My parents live in a Basti and they cannot afford expensive course and school for me and my brother and sister. So sir, we come here and study all of those subjects.
Recently, some of the NGO students from disadvantaged backgrounds also performed a French play at the famed National School of Drama in Delhi. Anna and her husband, who is a doctor, use all of their earnings to try to maintain the NGO.
It's been 3 years as we have been running this NGO, Indian Women Impact, and the entire concept is to provide the quality, world-class education to the children from underprivileged backgrounds. And the dream we have is to create the school that can accommodate 5,000.
So how does one log off? Limit yourself to one screen at a time. Spring clean your social media accounts. Use apps to bolster self-control. Don't charge your phone near your bed. Set time boundaries in usage. Use your gadgets thoughtfully. Think about whether you actually need to use your laptop or whether you need to use your phone. Is there any work really, or just using it mindlessly? Do you really need to watch TV, or you'd rather go for a walk or even take a nap, which is actually more relaxing, more refreshing?
If you ask an average person, they'll say, oh, I'm on social media for about 10-15 minutes or maybe a little bit more in there. I'm not typically there. But if they start actually analyzing their time, and there are apps and features available on these gadgets, they then come to realize that I was putting so many hours more.
Prioritizing offline relationships and getting a glimpse of what real life offers brings real joy. Try it.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 41 and minimum 28 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 29 and minimum 26 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 36 and minimum 27 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 26 and minimum 20 degrees. Chennai, maximum 33 and minimum 26 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 34 and minimum 24 degrees. Good evening, viewers. Let's take a look at the weather report across the major cities this evening. Thiruvananthapuram is at 26 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 70. Mumbai is at 30 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 59. Panji is at 27 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 26. Ahmedabad is at 30 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 44. Bhopal is at 25 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 31. Jaipur is at 34 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 44. Delhi is at 37 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 185. Srinagar is at 20 degrees Celsius with AQI being 29. Lucknow is at 32 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 50. Patna is at 33 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 64. Kolkata is at 30 degrees with an AQI of 39. Hyderabad is at 25 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 41. Bangalore is at 24 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 25. Chennai is at 31 degrees Celsius with an AQI of 27. This is all we have for you in this segment. Hope wherever you are, you find favorable weather around you. Keep watching India Today for all the weather updates with me, AI Sana, all through the day.
Co-powered by Bajaj Allianz Life Diabetic Term Plan. Extra Safe Polycab Green Wire.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today exposed Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. This is India's first presidency of the SCO, and at the 23rd meeting of the heads of state, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke of the need to take decisive action to defeat terror. He said, must fight terror in all its forms and manifestations together. He also insisted on the need to stop cross-border terrorism and for SCO countries coming together to combat radicalism that leads to both extremism and terrorism. The Prime Minister of Pakistan was listening, as were presidents of China and Russia, among other countries. Iran too has officially joined the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Before we move forward on India First, let's quickly cut across and listen in to Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
आज एससीओ से जुड़ने में अन्य देशों की रुचि इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के महत्व का प्रमाण है। इस प्रक्रिया में यह आवश्यक है कि एससीओ का मूल फोकस मध्य एशियाई देशों के हितों और आकांक्षाओं पर केंद्रित रहे। एक्सेलेंसी, आतंकवाद क्षेत्रीय एवं वैश्विक शांति के लिए प्रमुख खतरा बना हुआ है। हम चुनौती से निपटने के लिए निर्णायक कार्रवाई आवश्यक है। आतंकवाद चाहे किसी भी रूप में हो, किसी भी अभिव्यक्ति में हो, हमें इसके विरुद्ध मिलकर लड़ाई करनी होगी। कुछ देश क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म को अपनी नीतियों के इंस्ट्रूमेंट के रूप में इस्तेमाल करते हैं, आतंकवादियों को पनाह देते हैं। एससीओ को ऐसे देशों की आलोचना में कोई संकोच नहीं करना चाहिए। ऐसे गंभीर विषय पर दोहरे मापदंड के लिए कोई स्थान नहीं होना चाहिए। टेरर फाइनेंसिंग से निपटने के लिए हमें भी आपसी सहयोग बढ़ाना चाहिए। इसमें एससीओ के रेड्स मैकेनिज्म की महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रही है। हमारे देशों के युवाओं के बीच रेडिकलाइजेशन के फैलावे को रोकने के लिए भी हमें और सक्रिय रूप से कदम उठाने चाहिए। अफगानिस्तान की स्थिति का हम सभी की सुरक्षा पर सीधा प्रभाव पड़ा है। अफगानिस्तान को लेकर भारत की चिंताएं और अपेक्षाएं एससीओ के अधिकांश देशों के समान है। हमें अफगानिस्तान के लोगों के कल्याण के लिए मिलकर प्रयास करने होंगे। अफगान नागरिकों को मानवीय सहायता एक समावेशी सरकार का गठन, आतंकवाद और ड्रग तस्करी के विरुद्ध लड़ाई तथा महिलाओं, बच्चों और अल्पसंख्यकों के अधिकारों को सुनिश्चित करना हमारी साझा प्राथमिकताएं हैं। भारत और अफगानिस्तान के लोगों के बीच सदियों पुराने मैत्रीपूर्ण संबंध रहे हैं। पिछले 2 दशकों में हमने अफगानिस्तान के आर्थिक और सामाजिक विकास के लिए योगदान दिया है। 2021 के घटनाक्रम के बाद भी हम मानवीय सहायता भेजते रहे हैं। यह आवश्यक है कि अफगानिस्तान की भूमि पड़ोसी देशों में अस्थिरता फैलाने या एक्सट्रीमिस्ट विचारधाराओं को प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए उपयोग न की जाए।
The threat is not just of cross-border terrorism from Pakistan or the support that Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror gets from countries like China at the United Nations. The threat is now much wider. Khalistani supporters, for example, have targeted the Indian consulate in San Francisco for the second time in 4 months. Khalistani extremists set the consulate building on fire and filmed the incendiary being hurled at the building. Fortunately, firefighters were able to put out the fire immediately with no loss of either life or any major loss to property. But this just shows Khalistani elements are being emboldened, sadly, not just in the United States, but also in Canada, the United Kingdom and Australia. And the question remains, will governments in the United States, in Canada, in the United Kingdom and Australia, partners of India, strategic partners of India, act against these extremists before it's too late?
A big blaze at the Indian consulate in San Francisco, California. The second such attack on the same consulate in the last 3 months. These images, courtesy local American channel Diya TV, said the video was released by Khalistani terrorists in the US. The act of arson was carried out after hours and was contained quickly with no injuries to anyone. But the act itself has lit a major diplomatic and political fire. Coming as it does just days after the highly successful Modi-Biden Millen in the US. The United States has strongly condemned the incident.
भारत सिखों को बचाने में विश्वास रखता है, ना कि उनका नुकसान पहुंचाने में। इसलिए ये जो लोग कर रहे हैं, ये भारत के भी दुश्मन हैं, सिखों के भी दुश्मन हैं और ये आईएसआई की हालतों में खेलने वाले लोग हैं। मैं विदेशों में बैठे सिखों से आग्रह करता हूं, ऐसे लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई किया जाए और उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए जो हम सिखों को बदनाम करने का काम कर रहे हैं।
Only 3 months ago, as the Punjab police launched a nationwide search for Amritpal Singh in India, Khalistani terrorists vandalized this same Indian consulate building in San Francisco. Videos surfaced of a huge crowd attacking the consulate as Punjabi music blared in the background. A huge piece of graffiti read "Free Amritpal" was spray painted on the outer wall. Protesters shouting pro-Khalistan slogans broke through security barriers to install 2 Khalistani banners inside the consulate premises. They also hit the door and windows with iron rods. The National Investigation Agency, which believes the 2 attacks are almost definitely linked, may soon dispatch a team to the US to conduct an up-close investigation. While those responsible for these attacks are little more than unemployed thugs who owe allegiance to a desperate cause, the Indian government will be treating such incidents as a serious provocation, especially since Khalistani terror groups have now pulled a fresh stunt, publishing the photographs of India's ambassador to the United States, India's Consul General in San Francisco, as well as our diplomats in Canada, all in a desperate effort to raise temperatures ahead of a march to the Indian mission in Toronto this Saturday. Canada, notoriously soft on Khalistani terrorists, has released a statement condemning the dangerous calls to violence against diplomats.
हमारे जो पार्टनर देश जो हैं, जैसे कनाडा है, अमेरिका है, यूके है, ऑस्ट्रेलिया है, जहां कभी-कभी खालिस्तानी एक्टिविटीज़ होती हैं, हमने उनको रिक्वेस्ट की है कि वो उनको खालिस्तानियों को स्पेस न दें, क्योंकि जो उनकी सोच जो है ये रेडिकल एक्सट्रीमिस्ट विचारधारा जो है वो ना हमारे लिए अच्छा है, ना उनके लिए है, ना हमारे रिश्तों के लिए है।
With 4 major Khalistani terrorist leaders bumped off mysteriously in the last few months, a dead cause is gasping for breath. Desperate for attention and pulling every kind of stunt possible. But when they attack Indian property and issue suparis on our officials, they must face the consequences. Bureau Report, India Today.
But what's the wider game plan of the Khalistani extremists, terrorists and their supporters? Earlier today, India Today's Shiv Arur did a deep dive into the sudden spike in activities of Khalistani extremists overseas and some of them being neutralized rather mysteriously. Let's listen in to this conversation.
Well, 4 prominent Khalistanis coincidentally in the last 6 months have all died mysteriously. Many of these Khalistani groups are pointing a finger directly at India, saying it was India's India's covert operations that have managed to bump off these 4 Khalistani thugs in order to send out a warning to Khalistani groups not to provoke any more in the US, UK, Canada, Australia and elsewhere. Let's get an expert view, but before that I want to introduce you to my guests today to get their perspective on what India has done and what India can do. Lieutenant General Kamaljit Singh is former Army Commander, Western Army Command. Manbir Singh Kohli is a broadcaster in Sydney. He's also an expert on many of the things that have been happening there vis-a-vis Khalistani groups. Gaurav Sawant is someone who's been looking extremely closely at the Indian state's response to these many provocations and attacks in different parts of the world. But before I go to our 3 guests, I want to give you an overview of some of the actions or options that India has against Khalistanis. Because one of the most common questions that viewers and many people might have is, what can India actually do? Now, in terms of diplomatic actions, and I'm listing things that have either are possible for India to do or have already been activated in some form or the other. Number 1, we can pressure nations like the US, UK, Australia, Canada to book these Khalistani terrorists and thugs. Number 2, you can push the US, Canada, UK to clamp down on, what are a very, very small part of large Indian populations in these countries. Get green cards, residency permits cancelled. Put pressure on those embassies, put pressure on those governments. We can pursue deportation of these so-called Khalistanis back to India. Remember, there's a very, very clear definition that I want to make. There are many who try and conflate Khalistanis with the larger Sikh population in these countries. Nothing could be further from the truth, viewer. Never fall for that narrative. These Khalistanis, those who owe allegiance to a small, narrow terror impulses, are extremely small minorities. Most of them are outcasts within their community and they pursue these violent goals against India. They have nothing to do with the Sikh community. Let's make that very clear. Now, here are some direct action options that India has. Now, remember, many of these things are very easy to say, but they remain theoretically options. Number 1, cancel visas and origin, overseas citizen of India cards, OCI cards. Get the Indian government to cancel them. Identify these people, surgically find out where they live, cancel their visas and residency permits. Number 2, seize their properties. Find out who these Khalistani thugs are in London, in Toronto, Brampton, San Francisco, wherever. Find out what their linkages are back here in India. Seize those properties. Put the pressure on them and their families here. Number 3, freeze their bank accounts. Many of these thugs have to send money back home to their families, to their grandparents, whatever it is. Find out what it is in as humane a way as possible. Turn the screws, apply the pressure, freeze their bank accounts and their assets. Once you start clamping down on the money, see how these cowards fall in line. Number 4, and this is something that's theoretical, and this is what these 4 deaths have been blamed on India: covert assassination operations. There's always the there's always the option of India taking matters into its own hands and conducting covert operations in other countries to bump off these Khalistanis. This is easier said than done, viewer. I'm of course sitting in a studio and talking about it, but remember, in the real world, these are all very much options before the Indian security establishment. Now let's go across first to Gaurav Sawant, who's with me. Gaurav, the San Francisco consulate set ablaze. Pictures of Indian diplomats in the US and Canada put on public display, practically a supari being published by these Khalistani groups before that big march on July the 8th. How has the Indian state responded? What are they planning to do?
Shiv, the Indian state has responded with a lot of concern and anger. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar, he said that India expects Canada to take action against the perpetrators and said that this will impact relationship. This clearly, Shiv, is also a violation of the Vienna Convention on diplomatic security. If our diplomats are not safe, if our embassies and consulates are not safe, and remember, they've been targeted in London, they've been targeted in San Francisco, our diplomats are being threatened in Canada. And Shiv, this is something that India has been raising for decades. In fact, when Justin Trudeau's father, Pierre Trudeau, was Prime Minister of England, late Indira Gandhi had raised the issue of Khalistan terror with Pierre Trudeau. Unfortunately, not much was done then. Sadly, not much is being done now, except that the government is taking up this issue very seriously, warning countries that there will be consequences, and India's National Investigation Agency is carrying out an independent investigation, whether in San Francisco or in London, the attack on our missions, and expects governments like the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Canada to jointly carry out an investigation and come up with the truth and take action against the perpetrators.
Very interesting. The concern has been expressed. Consequences have been threatened. 4, Khalistani terrorists have been bumped off. There appears to be a pattern, but nobody knows who did it. The Khalistanis think the Indian intelligence agencies are responsible, but basically the temperatures are up on this issue, and a big march is going to be mounted in Toronto against the Indian High Commission there. General Singh, if I could come to you now, sir, your perspective on this latest provocation in San Francisco, and what, in your view, General, are India's diplomatic and or direct actions, sir?
Shiv, Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.
Thank you for including me in this program. You have raised a very relevant and pertinent issue. It's a very cowardly kind of an attack in the, in the hours, night hours.
Yeah.
And you're attacking a consulate. A consulate is a place where people from 12 states, I visited that consulate, receive various visa and consular facilities. It covers Silicon Valley and such important areas of USA. And also, you have used an incendiary device, a firebomb kind of thing. It's good that US Fire Department responded in time. There are families and other people who are part of consulate. There are a large number of civilians who are present there. And then you do this kind of activity, and see, these people have no morals or ethics or no values. In Canada, they put out the photograph of our Consul General, who's a lady.
Yeah.
Apurva Srivastava. And earlier, what they have done in Brampton, they had put Mrs. Gandhi at the receiving end. So you have to, this is not what Sikhism teaches us. We are not supposed to do such cowardly kind of activities. Indian government has taken some good measures. They put pressure, but most important thing that I saw is that NIA is going to go to San Francisco, because whatever we do, we have to provide evidence for international dossiers to be given to Interpol, to be given to other agencies, to name and shame. There is certain amount of vote bank compulsion also in these countries.
Of course, yes.
Which somehow retards the action which should be taken. So NIA, when it goes there, puts pressure on these agencies that if you won't do it, we'll certainly do it. It's our concern. And while I don't say that our agencies have done this thing, but people who live by sword should be prepared to perish by sword.
Very, very important point that you're making, sir. Manbir Singh Kohli, Australia has also, been no stranger to attacks and vandalism of this kind. You've, tracked many of these things happening there. Do you feel the Indian state can do more, sir? What is your perspective on this? Because it's happening chiefly in these 4 countries, the US, UK, Australia and Canada.
Yeah, thank you, Shiv, for including me on this. And it's quite a sad discussion, though. But congratulations on your book, Operation Jinn. I've just started reading it.
Thank you.
But at the outset, it's quite deplorable. And any action that hurts or is a threat to civilians, I think needs to be condemned at the outset. And this is quite disgusting. And what it's doing, like Lieutenant General Singh said, that it's bringing a bad name to the Sikhs, who are very hardworking, peace-loving, and great citizens of India. True. So it's dividing our communities. And I think from that standpoint, I deplore this action. Any action that sort of is targeting our consulate is bringing a bad name to the Sikh community.
Yeah.
And my question always remains, and this has happened in Australia too. We've had cases of vandalism. And unfortunately, the perpetrators, the culprits, have not been identified. I wait for the day when they'll be caught and deported if need be. But, I mean, of course, the government of India is putting pressure. We've got great diplomatic resources. And Prime Minister Modi, when he was in Australia, appealed to our Prime Minister, Albanese, at the highest level to stop these attacks. But what amazes me is that at the local level, why are these culprits not being caught? In this day and age, when there's so much surveillance across the world, why can't a person who's undertaking that action 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, why aren't they identified and caught?
Yeah. I think you make an excellent and very, very specific point. We're going to leave it there for the moment, but I know for a fact that the Indian government will be watching this show, because I get feedback, from the security establishment about the things we raise and the people we bring on. Surveillance. If you live by the sword, be prepared to die by the sword, which is, I think, one of the most significant things that can be said in the aspect of what has basically taken place at this point of time. Remember that this Saturday is going to be that big march in Toronto by a large number of these Khalistanis against the Indian High Commission, and Canada is helpless to do anything about it. This despite a practical supari being published against Indian officials. That is the state of things in Canada. And I think the word that was mentioned by both General Singh and Manbir Singh Kohli is extremely important. This has nothing to do with the Sikh community. The Sikh community are proud citizens of India and citizens of the countries in which they have chosen to live, and they have nothing to do with this tiny minority of terrorists who owe no allegiance to anything but violence against India. Let that be very, very clear to everyone watching this. Thank you, Manbir Singh Kohli. Thank you, General Singh. Thank you, Gaurav, for being with me.
Shifting focus to the other big story on India first, is the Uttarakhand model of the Uniform Civil Code likely to be the template for the common civil law? After the parliamentary panel meeting on the Uniform Civil Code, Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami went to 7 Lok Kalyan Marg and met Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Dhami is believed to have briefed the Prime Minister on the likely draft of the state expert panel on the UCC. Earlier, Dhami also met Union Home Minister Amit Shah. The draft could also serve as a guiding document for the ongoing deliberations by the 22nd Law Commission of India.
The debate over UCC rages on as the Modi government continues to hold a slew of meetings to bring the reform. A day after meeting, Home Minister Amit Shah, Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami met Prime Minister Modi in the national capital. Dhami, remember, has been battling for UCC to be brought to Uttarakhand and has prepared a draft as well for the same.
यूसीसी कमेटी का ड्राफ्ट कंप्लीट रूप से हमें नहीं मिला है और उनका ड्राफ्ट जब मिलेगा तो उस पर तभी कुछ कह पाना संभव होगा। हम बहुत देर भी नहीं करेंगे और जल्दबाजी में जो है ऐसा काम भी नहीं होगा कि जो है कि कोई ऊपर का नीचे हो जाए।
Importantly, one of the committee members who prepared the UCC draft in Uttarakhand also accompanied Chief Minister Dhami for the meeting with Prime Minister Modi. The meeting comes a day after a parliamentary panel huddle came together to discuss Uniform Civil Code. Interestingly, Chairman of Parliamentary Panel on Law and BJP MP Sushil Modi pitched for keeping tribals out of the ambit of any proposed UCC and noted that all laws have exceptions.
The chairperson, Sushil Modi, said perhaps the tribals in the northeast could be kept out of the ambit of it. But then the opposition members countered, what was the use if there was no uniformity? And also, the entire exercise was completely rendered futile.
यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड एक ह्यूमैनिटेरियन इशू है और मुद्दे क्या हैं? सक्सेशन, इनहेरिटेंस, मैरिज, कस्टडी, डाइवोर्स. उस पे यदि हम कंसेंसस नहीं ला सकते हैं तो ये जो हम कहते हैं कि इंडिया इज अ डाइवर्स कंट्री, उसका मतलब क्या रहा?
Meanwhile, even as the Law Commission has been seeking opinions from regional groups, the Jamiat Ulama-e-Hind has prepared its reply. Jamiat head Arshad Madni will send its opinion that Muslims will not accept any law that is against Shariat and hence oppose the Uniform Civil Code.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार वो ये चाहती है कि मुसलमानों के शरई अहकाम को कुचल करके हम जो है वो यहाँ पर राज करें, ऐसा मंजूर नहीं है. हम उनका विरोध करेंगे. हिंदुस्तान का एक एक मुसलमान काले कानून की मुखालफत करेगा.
As speculation grows on whether the BJP will table the UCC bill in the upcoming monsoon session, can the Saffron Party ensure more consensus over the reform? Bureau Report, India Today.
We will continue to track developments on the story very closely. That is all I have for you on India First this evening. Many thanks for watching. Sakshi Batra up next with Business Today.
Amit, what is the amount of money that you have sort of put into the entire business? How large is it today? And what is the inventory that you have that is to be sold?
So look, as I said, we have contributed the historical land, so to speak, because as I have maintained all along, and even in that article, that we have been sitting right there during the COVID time, cash flow positive on this project. Even we took a debt on the second project, but even there also the cash flow generation has been far higher. If you are selling the building to the tune of 80%, your ability is always a milestone collection, and our collection milestones are achieving very quickly. So we do not see a challenge of getting the money back from the customers. So when we get the money from the customers, it enables a cash flow positive. So therefore, what our contribution is primarily on the land, and initially we have put some small money. However, now inventory, when we talk about, in the first two projects, as I mentioned, 80% is sold, so only 20% is left. On the third project, as we speak today, I think close to 30% has been sold, and we are looking anything between in the next 2 years to sell another 30-40% of that. So now practically we are already sold out for the various projects. Now we have already signed a joint development agreement in Bandra, which we should be launching over the next few months. Now the whole growth story for the real estate business, because Thane is still an finite land. We have 60 acres to more, but you need to expand. And real estate is not a business only to monetize land. It is a business, core business for us. And that is why we did the demerger. So you will have a real estate pure play and you have a lifestyle pure play. Now in real estate, we are partnering with various people, as our board has taken two primary decisions. One, we will not put money behind the land. We will not buy land at all. And we will not move out of MMR, because it is much better to stay in this region. You have a better grip. You can monitor closely and manage things better. So now we are getting enough and more JDA projects. One is already signed, and I think few are on an advanced stage of discussion, and that will give us a good opportunity.
Hello and welcome. You with us here on Business Today. Here are the top stories at this hour. World could be headed for another crippling semiconductor shortage with China and the US on a collision course. China restricts exports of rare minerals in a tit-for-tat move could lead to long wait times for consumers. Markets hit new highs for a fifth session. Slide on profit booking in the later half of the day. Sensex still up 274 points. Nifty up 66 points. Bajaj twins shine in trade. Market guru Mahesh Nandurkar of Jefferies, exclusive on the show today, says he remains bullish on small and mid-cap stocks. Agrees that some valuations on D Street could be high, but says India's macro story remains compelling. Aam Aadmi Hero makes a move for the luxury segment, partners Harley-Davidson in developing its first high-end product. Exclusive conversations with top management of both companies on the show. Second big launch of this action-packed week, Kia unveils its 2023 Seltos. SUV gets a modified front fascia with ADAS2 capabilities and a refreshed interior. Bookings to open on the 14th. High-tech industries are staring at a possibility of a fresh chip shortage with geopolitical restrictions challenging not only expansion plans but semiconductor availability as well. In a tit-for-tat move, China has restricted exports of two minerals critical to chips and radar systems as a counter to increased controls by the US and Netherlands on sales of chip-making equipment.
The past couple of months have seen some of the biggest names in big tech. Apple CEO Tim Cook, Tesla CEO Elon Musk, and Microsoft founder Bill Gates visit China, strengthening existing ties and looking for new business. All of them sending across a message that all is well with China. But the reality is different. On Monday, China announced it will restrict the export of gallium and germanium, two components critical for chips and radar systems. The restrictions will kick in from the 1st of August, with China saying it was doing so to protect national security interests. Germanium ores are rare, with China producing around 60% of the world's supply. The rest comes from Canada, Finland, Russia and the United States. It is used in infrared technology, fiber optic cables and solar cells. Gallium, meanwhile, is found in trace amounts in zinc ores and in bauxite, and around 80% is produced in China. It is used in electronics. Only a few companies, one in Europe and the rest in Japan and China, can make it at the required purity. China has now weaponized these rare minerals in its economic war with the West. The counterpunch follows decision by the US and Netherlands to restrict sales of chip-making equipment as part of their ongoing effort to prevent technology from being used to strengthen China's armed forces. A global shortage of gallium is expected to weaken the Western market's ability to progress to 6G, raise the cost of the West 5G build-out given it doesn't use ZTE and Huawei, and lower the output of non-Chinese smartphone makers. Meanwhile, China's optical fiber market will likely benefit from the export curbs, as 30% of the global germanium output is used for optical fiber production. While the Dutch are planning to curb certain equipment from ASML and other companies, the US is expected to go one step further and use its long reach to withhold even more Dutch equipment from specific Chinese fabs. The US had earlier in October imposed export restrictions on shipments of American chip-making tools to China from US companies like Lam Research and Applied Materials on national security grounds, and lobbied other countries with key suppliers to adopt similar curbs. The industry is meanwhile worried, having just emerged from a crippling post-COVID semiconductor shortage. Another disruption in supply chains is a nightmare no one is looking forward to. Every tech industry had taken a hit. Car production fell to all-time lows, with waiting periods extending into years, Mobile phone manufacturers had to delay launches, with even Apple unable to meet festive season demand last year. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
Equity markets continue to rally today. D Street witnessing another historic session. Muted global sentiment, however, pulled the market slightly lower towards the end. Constant buying by overseas investors and a lack of negative triggers supporting bourses. For the day, Sensex was up close to 300 points. Nifty also up 66 points at a fresh closing peak of 19,389. Top gainers today, the Bajaj Twins, Hero Motocorp, Tech Mahindra and Sun Pharma. On the downside, Eicher Motors, Bharti Airtel, Grasim, Axis Bank and Reliance lagging behind somewhat today. With markets hitting new highs every day for the past few sessions, investors are wondering how long will the good times last. There are questions on whether it's the right time to enter markets or even about which stocks and sectors have steam left. India Today Group's global business editor Udayan Mukherjee posed some of these questions in his conversation with market guru Mahesh Nandurkar, MD and Head of Research, Jefferies.
I was just having a conversation with a very old-timer fund manager, mutual fund manager, and he said that the macro story for India is great, but valuations are still not compelling and not challenging, and quite challenging. Would you agree with that, or would you say that it's a good entry point for India now?
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Thanks for having me here. Yeah, you actually are absolutely right. I would kind of echo the sentiments. I do believe that the macro story is looking very compelling for sure. Quite confident about 15% plus earnings growth, which is like one of the highest that we've seen, that we will be seeing in any of the major markets globally. So yeah, all that is looking quite well. But yeah, but valuations is definitely sticking out. When the markets corrected earlier in February or so, when the Nifty was at around 17,000, it was looking pretty interesting, but the markets have moved up pretty quickly, up about 10% or so from there. And yes, many stocks and sectors are looking expensive at this point in time. Yeah.
There is a fear in certain quarters in the market that during the course of this year, we'll get another spike in volatility, and you may even get the market back to the kind of levels which you found interesting. Do you expect something like that? I know it cannot be predicted, events cannot be predicted, but is it a likelihood in your eyes?
I think the event that will probably create volatility in the Indian markets will probably have to be a global event or an international event. I do not foresee too many negative or let's say big negative events for the Indian markets, which will be domestically caused. My sense is that you will probably see, or you could probably see some volatility created by either some unexpected change, say in the Fed policy, or some other kind of dislocation that might happen in the capital markets globally, or something like that. But as far as the developments domestically go, to me it looks unlikely.
How would you position a portfolio right now for people? Domestic investors are has invested in the market right now. They've not pulled out any money. But at this point, would it make sense to stay with mid caps and small caps, which have started performing again, or would it be better to be with large caps at a time when valuations are not very low?
Yeah, a very fair and pertinent question. So then, in fact, we did publish a research note on the same topic. What I believe is that, so as you rightly said at the outset, the broader market valuations are looking a bit on the higher side. And that is what is, making the investors a bit uncomfortable. But I believe that the mid caps and the small cap space definitely offers a more upside and the more risk reward. And the reason is not so much the choice of the market capitalization itself, but it's more to do with what the mid cap and small cap actually represent. The mid cap and small cap actually represent the India story. And what I mean by that is, if you just look at the Nifty 50, the large cap index, then you will see that the proportion of outward looking sectors like the IT, pharma, steel, oil and gas, other sort of commodities accounts for roughly 35 to 40% of market cap. And 60%, 65% is the domestic oriented stocks. whereas the same proportion for mid cap and small cap index is roughly about 80% plus. And I, for one, definitely believe that given where the global environment is, it makes sense to be more overweight and more optimistic position on the domestic oriented sectors and stocks rather than outward looking sectors. And from that context, I believe mid cap and small caps offer better upside and better risk reward. Also, I want to highlight one more point as well, which is that our favorite sectors has been real estate and industrial, or let's say the capex cycle plays. And once again, those sectors are very thinly represented in large cap indices. Once again, that number is like about 5% of the Nifty market cap is in those sectors, whereas if you look at mid cap, small cap, that proportion is higher than 20%. So yeah, so those are the reasons. Then I would say that the mid caps and small cap look more interesting at this point in time.
It's an interesting point that you make because I can't remember when L&T was actually a big performer in the index. I mean, it's gone through probably a decade and a half, since the 2007, 2008 bust up, that it's not had any role of even some kind of semblance of leadership for the market. Do you think the time is coming where some of these kind of heavyweight stocks, which traditionally would make up a core part of a person's portfolio, maybe 15 years ago, they could start leading the market again?
Yeah, I definitely think so, that there is a greater acceptance of the investment cycle, upcycle, which is showing signs of unfolding in India and which could be a multi-year story. But the key problem that we face when we speak to large investors is that there aren't any large and liquid stocks to play that story on. And some of the large cap names also have issues with with the ESG related issues as well. Hopefully those get sorted out. But as things stand today, yes, some of those large cap names do have some ESG issues, and that's why the focus is going towards more mid cap, small cap names. But I completely agree with you that investment cycle plays and capex related plays is I guess the way to go, because those stocks will likely deliver a much better outperformance.
What's the right way to play this? Because some people choose to play it through the companies which are delivering the capex and working on it. Others choose to play safe and play the lenders. What's the right approach to this capex upcycle, if there is indeed going to be one?
I would say that the best way to play is, there are multiple choices that you have, as you rightly said, but I believe the best and the most the best risk reward, I would say, would be the direct way to play that. So I would actually also include real estate developers as well into that list, because many a time when we talk about capex cycle, we actually leave out the largest portion of the capex activities in the country, which is actually the real estate development. So I would actually include that as one of the most direct ways of playing. But yes, there are other ways of playing as well: contractors, the capital goods companies, the automation companies, and essentially the companies that are going into kind of delivering either the services or the goods that go into building of infrastructure, building of housing units, and building of new capacities. So that would include names like cement, etc. as well, apart from the capital goods and the contractors and the real estate developers. But yes, if you are looking at some of the large names and more liquid names, then some of the lenders as well make a lot of sense. I would particularly draw attention to some of the banks that have been laggard recently. Those include some of the PSU names as well. So so lenders is definitely one large and liquid way to play that.
What's going on with the HDFC family, Mahesh? It's always been those blue chips which nobody ever sells from the portfolio. Yet you ask investors over the last few years, there seems to be an air of disenchantment. Do you think they'll rediscover their magic?
Well, then I will not be able to comment on individual stocks here. But one thing that I can say is that among the the traditional large cap sort of banking sector companies, many of these names are also very well owned, both by the international investors as well as the domestic investors as well. So I think we'll also have to take into account the ownership factors here as well. Also, over the last, I would say over the last few months, many of the investors have been talking about change of leadership at various large cap companies in India. That includes some of the banks, some of the consumer companies, and also some of the industrial names as well. And some of these leaders have been at the helm for the last 5 years, 10 years, and some even 20 plus years as well. So there has been that level of comfort that has got developed, over a period of time between the investors and, and the stocks of the companies. And with so in fact, we were doing this analysis, and more than 25% of the large caps by market cap are actually undergoing are going through a period of leadership change at the top. So some of those factors are also going to be impacting these names.
Watch the entire interview on our social media handle and YouTube Business Today. Let's take a very quick break. When we return, Hero charts a new luxury path with iconic US bike maker Harley Davidson.
People often donate heart and eyes, but now you can also donate your skin. North India's first skin bank is ready in Delhi's Safdarjung Hospital. Eligible disease donors can donate skin and give someone a new lease of life. Burn victims can immensely benefit from these skin banks for their graft surgeries.
स्किन बैंकिंग में ये खास बात है कि इसमें कोई मैचिंग की जरूरत नहीं है। कोई भी पेशेंट स्किन डोनेट कर सकता है। उस मरीज की उस डिजीज की दी हुई स्किन किसी भी दूसरे मरीज में इस्तेमाल हो सकती है। ना कोई ब्लड ग्रुपिंग मैचिंग चाहिए, ना कोई और HLA मैचिंग चाहिए, और जिसमें ये स्किन हमने लगाई है उसको जीवन में कोई स्टेरॉइड और इम्यूनोसप्रेसेंट्स खाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है।
Safdarjung Hospital authorities are also doing everything they can to make people aware about skin donation. With the help of specialized equipment and proven techniques, donated skin is processed and stored in bank before transplantation.
इतने सारे वार्ड्स हैं, जो भी नए डॉक्टर्स ज्वाइन करते हैं, जूनियर रेजिडेंट्स हैं, वो ज्वाइन करते हैं, तो उनको सेमिनार्स लेके, उनको इन्फॉर्म करके उनको बताया जाएगा। डेथ फॉर्म है, जब हम लोग उसको साइन करते हैं तो उसमें भी हम सोच सकते हैं कि हम उसमें भी ऐड करा दें कि हम आई डोनेशन के लिए विलिंग हैं और स्किन डोनेशन के लिए विलिंग हैं।
As of now, there are 16 skin banks across the country, and here's hoping that this latest center in Delhi opens the doors for many more such skin banks in India. With Neetu Jha, Bureau Report, India Today.
Quality today. In Delhi, 182. In Mumbai, 50. In Kolkata, 53. In Bangalore, 44. In Chennai, 100. In Hyderabad, 27.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mode.
Welcome back. In a big boost for Indian tech sector, HP will begin manufacturing its high-end computer servers in the country. HP has signed an initial pact with VVDN Technologies, under which servers worth $1 billion will be manufactured in the next few years. Interestingly, the announcement comes just a few days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited US and met top industry leaders.
Recently, our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, he approved a PLI scheme for hardware IT. Under that scheme, we are very happy that HP Enterprises has decided to start manufacturing their high-end servers in India. So it's a big thing. In the coming 4 to 5 years, HP Enterprises will be almost reaching $1 billion turnover in India. So these high-end, very complex machines, getting them manufactured in India shows how mature the electronics manufacturing industry is now coming up to.
Hero MotoCorp is changing gears. The company, which with its iconic tagline, "Fill it, shut it, forget it," captured the Indian entry-level bike market, is now eyeing the premium segment. Chetan Bhatani caught up with Hero MotoCorp's chairman, Pawan Munjal, and Jochen Zeitz, CEO Harley Davidson, at the launch of their first co-developed product, the X440.
What the brand means for India, sir, the premium motorcycling, and of course for Hero MotoCorp entering from an Aam Aadmi segment to a premium motorcycle, and that to a super luxury premium motorcycling, sir. How does it feel as a brand, sir?
Well, the brand Harley Davidson, of course, is already present in India, now being distributed by Hero very successfully. There has been a very successful transition from Harley's earlier business model to the current business model